Chapter 1361. Long Shui had long finished all the sacred animal dans, but she only complained a little. During the past 5 years, Chen Shang had occasionally taken the time to get a pot or two for her to eat, so she was leveling up very quickly now. I can't keep leveling up. I'll wait for a period of time before I use it again. Bai Yuyu warned Chen Shang. Using the Dragon Pearl Gold Pellet to cultivate was equivalent to absorbing the energy of others. This would take a period of time to completely refine, and if this continued, it would have some effect on in the future. Go confirm the location of the sacred beast's ancient realm first. When you have enough strength in the future, you can go there immediately. Su Meiyao said. Chen Shang had already thought of that before, now that he had entered the intermediate stage of the worldly immortal stage, although he could still withstand the pressure from the immortal monarch, but if he met with the late period of human immortal, he could still defeat them. Right now, he had to go to a place far away from the myriad Dan immortal country. Although he wouldn't be discovered even if he were to head there now, there was no longer any need to go there. In the heaven realm, although there were few immortal palaces with flourishing pills, there were still some that only existed in the myriad Dan immortal country. Let's go to a palace where there are a lot of immortal beasts in human form. We might be able to find out more about the sacred beast's ancient realm there. Su Meiyao said. The heaven realm was so big, and there were a lot of beasts that had transformed into human form. They were divided into 2 types of existence, one was to fight against humans, and the other was not to attack one another. They also learned from humans and built giant immortal palaces to form a large group, which could also protect the weak members of their group. Although the 10,000 Beast Hall was not like those immortal country with groups of immortal palaces, the strength of this immortal palace was considered one of the best in the heaven realm. This immortal palace was a little special as there were no transmission arrays inside. In order to enter this immortal palace, one had to first transfer to the nearby human immortal palaces before being able to pass through. Chen Shang immediately came to the bottom of the 10,000 Beast Palace's main entrance. He did not go in because at this moment, there was a very large snake slowly wiggling its way into the city. The 10,000 Beast Palace's gate was the biggest gate that Chen Shang had ever seen, but that giant python took up more than half of the entrance. Chen Shang estimated that this giant python was around 300 meters wide, similar to those huge dragon corpses that he had seen before. This guy is sick. It seems like he's going to turn into a flood dragon. He only turned into a flood dragon at such a young age, he might even turn into a dragon directly. Long Shui said. The 10,000 Beast Palace was a good place for these huge beasts to live, because if these huge beasts were outside, they would be hunted and killed by human experts, so they decided to enter the 10,000 Beast Palace instead of hunting these huge beasts, otherwise, they would be surrounded and attacked by a herd of beasts, and even the human immortal king would not dare to mess around inside. The giant python finally entered. It quickly crawled away from a very wide street and soon disappeared. The streets of the 10,000 Beast Immortal Palace were very large, and from time to time, one could see huge beasts. Of course, most of them were in human form. It's so hard to find someone to talk to here. As Chen Shang walked on the street, he couldn't help but break out in a cold sweat as he listened to Long Shui pointing out the true forms of those people. There are many beast immortals in this immortal palace, as well as many beast kings. Moreover, most of them are very harmonious, so it's not strange that they are quite powerful. Long Shui said. Chen Shang passed by a wall and saw a bounty on the wall. It was placed on him, but not many immortal beasts paid attention to it. Most of the beasts here were beasts, and the pills consumed by humans weren't of much use to them, so their business here was rather poor. Don't look down on these fellows who cultivate from the beast race, to be honest. They all have some outstanding qualities to be able to survive in such a vile environment, so every single one of the immortal beast here give off a strong feeling. Their intelligence is not low, unless they are the little immortal beasts who have no cruel experiences. Bai Yuyu said. Chen Shang could also see it, that's why he felt a wave of oppressive aura when he was walking on the street, and these beasts seemed to be able to discover that he was not their own kind, so they were hostile towards him. As long as he appeared, the surrounding immortal beasts would immediately become vigilant and mobilize all their energy. This was understandable, because most immortal beasts that could take human form had the experience of being hunted down by human experts and hated humans to their bones, even though humans could enter this immortal palace. If only there were sacred animal Dan should have a market here. I wonder if these transformed immortal beasts are rich. Chen Shang said. In the process of their growth, they have killed quite a few human experts and powerful beasts. Furthermore, they had spent their days in the deep mountains and in the deep forests, making a lot of treasures, but they did not know the value of a lot of them. Thus, there is a special place for them to value these treasures. Su Meiyao said. As long as he could afford to pay a price, he could buy the treasures that the immortal beast had collected for many years. However, he was more concerned about the higher-leveled herbs. Chen Shang walked aimlessly inside the house, passing through many wide streets, when suddenly he saw a huge stone house in front of him with a group of transforming immortal beasts surrounding them, talking about some things. He quickly walked over and saw that there was a piece of paper pasted on the entrance of the huge stone house. There were some people written on it. Chen Shang looked at the piece of paper and read the contents on it in shock. He did not expect the contents on it to have something to do with his purpose for coming here. The humans have found some clues about our beast clan's sacred land. We hope to cooperate with them and search for this ancient sacred land that has been lost for many years, initiated by the Fire Divine Palace and the Myriad Dan Immortal Country. If you have any clues, you can provide them and get rich rewards. This was obviously referring to the sacred beast's ancient realm. Chen Shang never thought that the sacred beast's ancient realm would be so mysterious. It had actually been in a lost state for many years, and no one noticed it. It was initiated by the Imperial Dragon Clan. Perhaps the Imperial Avian race is also looking for them. In the Heaven Realm, they are the ones with the most clues. The ancestors of these two powerful beasts came from the sacred beast's ancient realm. I wonder what their goal is. Could it be that they know that there are good things in the sacred beast's ancient realm? Long Shui said. The Fire Divine Palace and the Myriad Dan Immortal Country both had a good relationship with the Imperial Dragon Clan. It was normal for Long Shui to immediately suspect the Imperial Dragon Clan. Chapter 1362. Chen Shang thought that it would be easy to find the sacred beast's ancient realm, but who would have thought that even the Fire Divine Palace and Devil Suppressing Divine Palace, these ancient and powerful forces, would have to gather clues here and there. They must have some clues about the sacred beast's ancient realm, but it's not complete. However, I believe that it won't be long before they can confirm the location of the sacred beast's ancient realm. Long Shui said. You don't even know where the sacred beast's ancient realm is? Chen Shang asked. If I knew, I would have told you a long time ago that there are no related memories in my memories. It seems that even the powerful beasts that came out of there back then would not be able to pass on this memory. Could it be to protect the sacred beast's ancient realm? Long Shui said. That is your sacred ground. I wonder what happened in that place after the death of the Ten Heavens Supreme Lord. Chen Shang guessed that this matter had a close relationship with the Ten Heavens Supreme Lord. There is a Fire Emperor behind the Fire Divine Palace, and this Fire Emperor might only have a little clue as to where the sacred beast's ancient realm is. The current Dragon Emperor and those old dragons should also have some clues. That's why they are working together to explore the sacred beast's ancient realm. Long Shui said. That was all the beasts. Sacred grounds back then, and many people today would have thought that there was something extraordinary inside. If not, they wouldn't have raised such a large number of powerful holy beasts. Chen Shang was a little worried. They probably don't have that map. Long Shui said. Actually, you have the most clues, because you have two maps. Chen Shang had two identical maps. One was obtained from the treasure chest, and had the Dan Emperor's mark on it. The other was passed down from Duan Chong's ancestors, and both were in his hands. Although I have the map, I don't know where it is located. Chen Shang sighed. If he knew, he would have gone to the side instead. If that map is the entire picture of the sacred beast's ancient realm, then it would be too small. The sacred beast's ancient realm should be very big. Su Meiyao said. She and Bai Yu had repeatedly looked at that map many times. It's not small anymore. Sacred beast's ancient realm is very old, so the mountains and rivers inside are very huge. It looks like they're just shrinking now. I think they're at least the size of a immortal country. Long Shui said. But I don't know where the mountains and rivers depicted on the map are. The heaven realm is so big, how do you want me to check them? Chen Shang felt extremely helpless. Maybe the place isn't in heaven realm at all. If there really is a treasure hidden within, without a map mark, it would be very difficult for them to find it in such a big place. If you know where the sacred beast's ancient realm is, then you will be able to reach the treasure location the fastest through the safe route on the map. Su Yun said in a calm tone. Long Shui said. It was not a bad idea. The two maps in his hands were both marked with a safe route, which meant that it would be very safe to travel to those areas. Furthermore, he would be able to clearly mark out the locations of the most dangerous places. At this time, the 10,000 Beast Hall was in an uproar. the sacred beast's ancient realms were like sacred grounds to the immortal beast, everyone wanted to go there. Many years ago, it was the world of beasts. The dragon race and the 4 sacred beasts were all incredibly powerful existences, and the 10 heavens supreme lord that governed the 9 heavens were also from the sacred beast's ancient realm. However, Chen Shang felt that even if the sacred beast's ancient realm appeared again, the beasts wouldn't be able to return to their powerful positions. This was because the humans had grown even more powerful over the years, and there were many perfect cultivation techniques, alchemy techniques and formations that beasts could not even compare to with using brute force. Over the years, humans had seen many existences comparable to saint beasts. At the very most, it would be a battle between humans and beasts in the future. Chen Shang bought some materials here, rented a secret room and forged a basin-sized piece, then carved that map on the metal board. This kind of thing was extremely simple to him, he could carve it lifelike, and it wouldn't take too much time. The original map was very large, similar to a large round table. However, it was now carved into a face-sized piece of metal and shrunk in size. He took out a stack of paper and used the iron seal to take the ink, then he printed a map on the paper. Although it was very rough, one could still clearly see the mountains and rivers on it. Chen Shang busied himself for a whole day, printing several hundred pieces, and then spread them all over the place, saying that this was the sacred beast's ancient realm, regardless of whether he believed it or not. In just a few days, the mysterious maps that were posted all over the 10,000 Beast Palace were more than the pictures that were on the bounty for Chen Shang. The matter of finding the sacred beast's ancient realm was spread all over Heaven Realm, and now that the sacred beast's ancient realm's map had appeared, many people did not believe it. However, many people could not tell where the area described on the map was, because the shape and distance of the mountains, as well as the 10 or so large rivers that appeared at the same time were things that many people had never seen before. There were more than 10 large rivers and mountains on the map, and there were also many large lakes. Although the map was small, it would be very vast and shocking if one really went there. Chen Shang had originally only printed over 1,000 of them, but after he sent them out, he changed his appearance. Now that he was hiding in the 10,000 Beast Palace, he discovered something strange, there were actually more and more maps that needed to be purchased. F***ck, this definitely wasn't made according to my photo. This one should be much clearer. Chen Shang spent 100 spiritual crystal to buy one. I am the one who made this map famous, but later on, there was someone who borrowed the wind from this guy to earn the spiritual crystal. This person must have a map as well. A river is missing from your imprint, but he is showing up here. Long Shui said. Chen Shang was not very serious when he carved that seal, and he felt that it was fine to have one less river. Maybe they're correcting you. Su Meiyao laughed. What if his map is marked with a hidden treasure, and that guy is even stronger than me? At that time, won't I lose out? Chen Shang felt that this was not a good thing. He had to find the person who sold the map. After that, Chen Shang would stroll around the streets every day, and at the same time, investigate the source of the map. Originally, this map was created by him, he had planned to sell it after he became famous, but who would have known that there would be someone ahead of him? With Long Shui using the Heaven Tour, they split up the divine soul to search for him, and very quickly gained a slim figure. The person selling the map lived in a very run-down area, and the houses there were all very cheap. Could this guy be a Euro, Duan Chong? Just as Chen Shang arrived, he saw an old man opening the door and walking out. Chapter 1363. Duan Chong had long since passed the soaring stage, so it was very difficult for him to think of Heaven Realm, but now that he was here, he did not change his appearance, it was just that he looked a little down. Deep into the night, Duan Chong was holding onto a big stack of maps. At this time, a few youths came over and took out spiritual crystals to buy the map in his hands. After selling it, Duan Chong immediately returned to his room, but quickly crawled out from the other window, shuttled through the alleyway of the dilapidated house, and came to another house. This was all seen clearly by the divine soul that Chen Shang was floating in the air above him. After seeing Duan Chong's actions, he was even more certain that this person was Duan Chong, but why was he here? Chen Shang hid his presence, and quietly arrived at the door of the room Duan Chong was in, and lightly knocked. Elder Duan, quick, it's me. Duan Chong, who was still inside, was suddenly shocked, but after thinking about it for a moment, he quickly understood that it was normal for Chen Shang to discover him. After Duan Chong opened the door, he dragged Chen Shang inside. That map was indeed released by you. Duan Chong laughed. it's just that you missed a river, I'll help you make it up. Old Duan, why are you here? Aren't you in DTN? Chen Shang asked. Leader, in the current DTN, our dragon subduing school is very strong and stable. I felt that it was too boring over there, and then I came up. I spent a lot of effort to open up a path up there, and I almost died. Duan Chong said with fear still lingering in his heart. When did you come? 2 years ago, I didn't expect that you would be so popular in Heaven Realm. Duan Chong laughed. Duan Chong was a immortal monarch, and he had a strong concealment ability, so he would secretly spread out his map, making it difficult for others to find him. I've looked for a lot of ancient books, but none of them can pinpoint the location of this sacred beast's ancient realm. However, I'm sure that the Imperial Dragon clan knows about it, as well as some of the other Tong Tien aristocratic families and Saint Realm cultivators. I wonder what kind of thoughts they have when they see these maps. Duan Chong laughed. Brat, you have so many clever ideas, if it's not like that, I'm afraid that the sacred beast's ancient realm will be taken over by those people. It's good now, once the map spreads out, there will definitely be people who can see that kind of terrain. Not long later, everyone will know where the sacred beast's ancient realm is. Previously, the few big powers represented by the Imperial Dragon clan had bought all the relevant leads, but now that they had the clues, it was only a public event. Chen Shang had indeed ruined their plans, no wonder Duan Chong hid away so desperately. Chen Shang now also helped to imprint those maps. He asked, Elder Duan, the clans that followed Ten Heaven's Supreme Lord all those years ago held a certain position in the Heaven Realm. Some of them could even be compared with those top powers. Our Duan clan is different from the other clans, we will be sealed by a mysterious power from time to time, and until now, we still have a few seedlings that are considered not bad, and the foundation of our clan in the Heaven Realm has already been destroyed. However, legend has it that our ancestors had a grave in the Heaven Realm, and my purpose in coming to the Heaven Realm is to find it and dig it out. Duan Chong said. Duan Chong went all out to come to the Heaven Realm just to dig their ancestors' grave, and from the looks of it, it seemed like they had agreed to do it. Duan Sanchang, that brat still doesn't have the ability to dig that tomb right now, so I will train him properly. I don't have enough power by myself, I will go to Human King Immortal Country later on. Duan Sanchang was also in the Human King Immortal Country. When that little robber's tomb came to the Heaven Realm, it would definitely continue to manage its business. Many of the tombs in the Heaven Realm were filled with hidden treasures. In just a month, these maps had appeared in many of the Immortal Country's immortal palaces, and they were even confirmed as the sacred beast's ancient realm because there was once an old beast king who had come out to prove it. With this, Duan Chong and Chen Shang would be able to separate. He also had some important things to do, and he believed that Chen Shang would definitely be able to return safely from sacred beast's ancient realm. There were more and more clues, especially in the 10,000 Beast Palace, there were a few old beast kings hidden there. Some of them grew up at the edge of sacred beast's ancient realm, but they did not know that it was actually the sacred beast's ancient realm. One of the old beast kings said that he would not return there, he said that it was not the sacred place everyone thought it was, that it was hell, he came out from there after 1,000 years of hard work, that the so-called sacred beast's ancient realm was very dangerous, even though he had the power of a beast king, he did not want to go back. There were 2 other beast kings who had similar claims, but many people and beasts did not believe them. They thought that these old beast kings were afraid that someone would take over the sacred beast's ancient realm, which was why they said it was so scary. What made Chen Shang anxious was that even now, he still did not know where that place was. Those old beast kings said that they did not want to send too many living creatures to their deaths, so they kept their mouths shut. This was something that the old beast king of the 10,000 Beast Immortal Palace was unwilling to say. However, the old beast king of the War Beast Immortal Palace, who was gathered by another immortal beast and had strong enmity towards humans, spoke out. Night Devil Hell, this place seems to be very scary. When Chen Shang heard the latest news, many people were terrified of the Night Devil Hell. Sacred Beast's ancient realm is actually Night Devil Hell. Su Meiyao said in shock, his voice carried a trace of fear. Is this place very scary? Chen Shang asked anxiously. I have only heard that the devil-killing summit is inside, but it is not the center of the Night Devil Hell. It can only be considered to be a side mountain, and no one can go to the center of it. Su Meiyao said. Back then, our master wanted to go to the devil-killing summit alone, but in the end, he heavily injured himself and came back. Without anyone to guide him, it would be difficult to get close to him. Back then, they were also part of the strong. Their masters were even more powerful, but they suffered losses in that place. No wonder many people can't see what place it is. It turns out that there are very few people who can get close to that place. It's usually covered in fog, and flying over from high up in the sky is very dangerous as well. If that's the case, then it's no wonder those old beast kings who ran over here don't want to go back. Su Meiyao took in a breath of cold air. Just thinking about it, she felt terrified, because he had once seen her master covered in wounds and had returned home. No wonder they were able to become a beast king when they ran out, and couldn't come out even if they lacked the ability. According to the legends, it was indeed like hell inside, especially at night. They would hear terrifying roars, and the most powerful thing in the legends is the night devil at night. Bai Yuyu said. These were all legends, because it was very difficult to come out alive after entering. I have a safe route, so I might be able to avoid some danger. Chen Shang said, because he heard the tone of Su Meiyao and Bai Yuyu and knew that they did not want him to go. Chapter 1364. Wait a moment, you better find out who's going. You can follow behind those guys, said. Both she and Bai Yuyu knew how important the beast slaying method was to Chen Shang, and there was even something inside that the Dan Emperor was hiding. It might even be the lid of the divine cauldron. Chen Shang left the 10,000 Beast Hall and was teleported to the demon-suppressing palace. If he were to head to the Night Devil Hell, there would definitely be people from there, which was why Chen Shang came here. The devil-suppressing divine palace's Immortal Palace was not the largest, but it was one of the strongest. The majority of the other Immortal Palaces surrounded the center, creating a central area that only allowed people with a large number of spiritual crystals or powerful people to enter, and the central area of the Demon Imperial Palace was constructed with an incomparably large hall, which was the devil-suppressing divine palace. Chen Shang did not know how the temple worked, but it was said that only the people in the devil-suppressing divine palace knew about it, and the people in the devil-suppressing divine palace were extremely secretive and would not reveal the details. It was extremely difficult for normal people to enter the shrine, as even the powerful immortal kings would have to summon them beforehand. However, the outside of the devil-suppressing divine palace was still very busy. Because the immortal chi was dense near the shrine, many tall and grand buildings were built around the shrine. They were all hotels or inns. Chen Shang came here to inquire about the movements of the devil-suppressing divine palace. If the devil-suppressing divine palace was planning to go to that night devil hell, the scale of the trip would definitely not be small. Over the years, many experts died inside the night devil hell. I never thought that it would be the sacred beast's ancient realm. It seems to have changed a lot. It is no longer the cradle of holy beasts, but instead, it has become the cradle of demons. An old man shook his head and sighed. Chen Shang was staying at a tea house. He realized that most of the people inside were here to ask about the movements of the devil-suppressing divine palace, because if devil-suppressing divine palace came out, they would be more at ease. At that time, they would definitely follow behind. Devil-suppressing divine palace, Fire Divine Palace, Imperial Dragon Clan, Myriad Dan Immortal Country, the 10 Heavenly S, the 10 Saint S, and the other Immortal Palace Immortal Country S of various sizes. If they were to head to Sacred Beast's ancient realm together, it would probably be the greatest power in history. But right now, I still don't know. If these superpowers really move out together, maybe they can scare off the night devil inside. Chen Shang heard these people conversing. This was one of the ways he gathered information. Little scoundrel, tell us what happened with Devil Killing Summit inside. Remember to exaggerate it a bit. Su Meiyao suddenly said. Chen Shang immediately understood what Su Meiyao was thinking, and anxiously moved to the table and said, "You all may not know, but the legendary Devil Killing Summit is inside Night Devil Hell, and the big powers might be attacking Devil Killing Summit. You should have heard of the Devil Killing Summit's matter. All the monsters that came out were people that once challenged many great powers by yourself. For example, the ruthless devil Venerable back then was one of them. And that Chen Shang was also rumored to be from the Devil Killing Summit." Chen Zhang's words caused the people of the tea house to perk up their ears. This was the first time they had heard such a thing. Although it sounded unreliable, it was very satisfying. Ruthless Devil Venerable is an important figure from over 100,000 years ago. Even now, his name is still around and he is indeed from the Devil Killing Summit. No wonder Chen Shang is so powerful, so it turns out he's also from the Devil Killing Summit. However, he probably never went to the Devil Killing Summit, and was instead taken in by a disciple of the Devil Killing Summit who was wandering outside. Devil-killing summit must have a lot of powerful mystical techniques and demonic techniques, as well as a lot of profound concocting techniques. Otherwise, how could Chen Shang be so powerful? In that case, those big powers are really going to attack Devil-killing summit. That's for sure. It was said that there were 2 people who saved Chen Shang the other day, but only a few people could see the figures of the 2, showing just how powerful they were. Furthermore, they had killed 2 immortal kings in that situation, even the arms of the Dragon Emperor had been severed, and the son of the Holy Dragon who knew how to refine pills in the Dragon Emperor was crippled as well. Then why did the Myriad Dan Immortal country attack the Devil-killing summit as well? Although their relationship with the Imperial Dragon clan is not bad, attacking the Devil-killing summit is not beneficial to them. They do not have any enmity with the Devil-killing summit. Chen Shang heard the others talking about this, and interrupted. You guys might not know, but Myriad Dan Immortal country has suffered heavy losses, and Myriad Dan Immortal country's new king, He Piqing, has a holy fruit. It should originally be a competition's reward, but it was stolen away by someone, and that person is from Devil-killing summit. That's why they endured the pain of taking out the Divine Cauldron. Although the Divine Cauldron has 1 less lid, its value is far higher than the sacred fruit. The sacred fruit can grow back in the future and the Divine Cauldron will be gone once it's given away. So that's how it is. I wonder where you heard about it. Is it true? An old man asked. Of course it's true. This is all from the Fire Divine Palace. Chen Shang said. Chen Shang did not lie. He knew that, before long, these kinds of rumors would spread. After Chen Shang stayed in the Devil-suppressing Divine Palace for a few days, he did not expect that a immortal monarch in the Devil-suppressing Divine Palace had once mentioned in public that the Devil-killing summit was indeed in the Night Devil Hell. The Devil-killing summit is inside the Night Devil Hell. Could it be that the people inside the Devil-killing summit are trying to suppress the incredible monsters inside? Chen Shang sat by the window and drank his tea, looking at the incomparably huge Devil-suppressing Divine Palace in the distance. I wonder if Human King Immortal country will go. Chen Shang was not worried about Lu Munger and the others. With their strength, they would not be allowed to go to such a dangerous place. Now that the situation was so serious, it was impossible for the Devil-suppressing Divine Palace and the rest to hide anything anymore. Chen Shang was sure that there were already many people gathered at the Immortal Palace in Night Devil Hell. I wonder if the demons from Yaotian and Motian will come. Long Shui said, Imperial Avian Race and Imperial Dragon Clan will definitely return. This place is too important to them, it is their route. Furthermore, there have been no saint beasts being born for so many years, that's why they want to obtain the power to become saint beasts. What if they find out? Chen Shang thought of the white tiger's strength. Even the so-called Dragon Swallow City was afraid of the white tiger. It's fine, they won't be able to find you anyway, and they won't be able to rule the 9 heavens like they did in the past. There will definitely be human immortals who can fight against them and won't let them do anything rash. Long Shui said. Right now, Chen Shang was waiting here for the Devil-suppressing Divine Palace. To deal with the mysterious Night Devil, he had to do this even if the Devil-suppressing Divine Palace didn't want to. Chapter 1365. Chen Shang waited in the Demon Imperial Palace quietly, waiting for the news of Devil-suppressing Divine Palace's departure. But more than 10 days had passed, and there was not a single movement from the Devil-suppressing Divine Palace. Outside the main gate of Devil-suppressing Divine Palace, there are basically people crouching and waiting. If there is any large-scale operation, the news will spread. Chen Shang looked at the big door. He thought that Devil-suppressing Divine Palace and the others should make their move soon. Chen Shang inquired on the street for information, and in the evening, Long Shui said somewhat suspiciously, I feel a very faint spatial energy being transmitted from inside my face. Not good, there might be transmission array among them, maybe they were teleported in batches, where would they be teleported to? Chen Shang immediately thought of this level. I should be able to find out about the Immortal Palace near the Night Devil Hell. Let's go over there first. Su Meiyao said. Now, a lot of people were waiting here. Before Chen Shang teleported away, he also released a message that the people of the Devil-suppressing Divine Palace had long been sent to the Immortal Palace in the vicinity of the Night Devil Hell through the transmission array of the huge shrine. The Night Devil Hell had existed for a long time, and understood the Night Devil Hell very well. It was said that when they went to train, they would often lure the Night Devil out to hunt, so for many years, the Devil-suppressing Divine Palace had built a careful Immortal Palace near the Night Devil Hell. This palace was also known as the Demon-suppressing Palace, but it was very small. Furthermore, it didn't have that kind of gigantic devil-suppressing divine palace, but ordinary palaces were still huge. When Chen Shang released the news previously, many people guessed that if the devil-suppressing divine palace were to set off, they would definitely come to this immortal palace. Although the devil-suppressing divine palace in this immortal palace did not make any movements, the few gates were still guarded by people. The devil-suppressing divine palace here was much smaller, and it was only a palace compound surrounded by walls. Long Shui and Chen Shang activated Heaven Tour and floated in the air. They could see the interior of the palace. There are a lot of people. Chen Shang saw that there was a large group of people gathered in devil-suppressing divine palace. Their clothes were all different, as they stood in groups on the plaza. There's a fire divine palace here, and there's also more than 30 dragons coming from the Imperial Dragon clan. It looks like they really are going to enter that night devil hell. Long Shui said. So many people, are they all going to die? Let's not talk about the strong ones, but there are quite a few who aren't even immortals, daring to challenge night devil hell. Chen Shang said. Before entering the night devil hell, it was already very dangerous. The outside of the night devil hell is not safe, bringing a large amount of weak people to clear the way. It will save a lot of energy, and once those strong people make their move on the outside, it will be very easy to alert and hide those strong beasts. Su Meiyao was extremely familiar with the night devil hell. It was clear that he had been to that place before. I wonder if that group of immortal beast will go. Chen Shang actually planned to follow behind these groups of powerful forces first, and when they safely entered the inner part, compare the topography on the map, find a safe route, and then go by himself. He originally thought that devil-suppressing divine palace's group of people would stealthily set off. Who knew that within a few days, they would come out from a big gate and head towards night devil hell in a grandiose manner. There were a lot of them, with a total of more than 100,000 people. Amongst them, Fire Divine Palace and Devil-Suppressing Divine Palace were the most numerous, followed by Myriad Dan Immortal Country. Those 10 Heavenly Master Immortal Country and 10 Sage Realm Immortal Country aren't here. Chen Shang had heard that these forces were also going to join them. They might be in other immortal palaces, so these fellows would definitely not be absent. They might have some clues about the sacred beast's ancient realm, and the ancestors of these powers have all followed the 10 Heavens Supreme Lord, so they know quite a bit about the secret of the sacred beast's ancient realm. Long Shui said. Along the way, Chen Shang was one of the few people that followed behind the group. He did not find any major powers like Dragon Emperor or He Teaching among the group, but there were still a few immortal kings. After exiting the Immortal Palace, everyone could see a mountain range in the distance, covered in a faint white mist. It could be said to be very close to the Immortal Palace. They could arrive in just a few more days. The group of endless mountains could be seen even from afar. One could see how huge it was. Previously, they already knew from the map that the mountains and rivers in Sacred Beast's ancient realm were all very large. As long as we enter the foggy area, we will be in a dangerous place, although we won't be considered as entering the Sacred Beast's ancient realm there. Bai Yuyu said. If you're talking about Immortal Monarch, it's very safe to roam around outside as long as you don't meet him. Night Devil Kings rarely run out, they usually hide inside. Only those very stupid little Night Devils will run out. They are usually the targets that Devil-Suppressing Divine Palace kills. Su Meiyao said. How strong is the little Night Devil? Chen Shang asked. Late stage worldly immortal stage, Night Devil King is equivalent to Immortal Monarch. Bai Yuyu replied. After walking for 2 days, they were getting closer to the Night Devil Hell. They could already see the faint mist in front of them, and many of the huge mountains were covered with mist. Only the higher parts of the mountains were exposed, and the mist did not dissipate. When he got close, Chen Shang realized that the mist was actually formed from dense immortal qi. It can transform into immortal qi mist. Could it be that there's a dragon vein inside? Chen Shang had seen 2 dragon veins before, so he knew how to form one. And at this time, the entire huge Sacred Beast's ancient realm was shrouded in this dense fog. There was definitely a powerful force gathering immortal qi at every single moment. Maybe somewhere deep inside this place, there was a dragon vein. In the past, it wasn't immortal qi at all, but just ordinary fog. I didn't expect it to turn into immortal qi now. Maybe there really is a dragon vein inside. No wonder those big powers joined forces to enter. Su Meiyao said in shock. I wonder how long it has been like this. If there is a dragon vein inside, then it is very dangerous. To protect myself, the dragon veins formed a natural grate formation, making it very difficult for the evil dragon graveyard to break through, not to mention the dragon veins formed by the spiritual crystal. Chen Zhang's face became serious. If it has been here for a long time, there might be a lot of celestial fruits and immortal medicines. Long Shui said. This kind of environment can cultivate immortal grades medicine very well. The sky turned dark and the team suddenly stopped. It was very easy to meet Night Devil at night when entering the foggy area. Everyone was resting in the forest outside. After passing through the forest they would enter the forest. They would need to travel through the mountains to advance. As long as they stepped into the forest in front of them, they would be able to reach the outskirts of the Night Devil Hell, which could be considered as a dangerous area. Do all those Night Devils have intelligence? Chen Shang leaned against a tree and sat down, looking at the group of devil-suppressing Divine Palace disciples in front of him. Those with intelligence are all Night Devil Kings, or Night Devil Kings. The majority of them are all very foolish. Other than their own kind, whenever they see something that moves, they would desperately attack it, and if it is a living being that was killed, it would be eaten by Night Devil. Su Meiyao said. The sky gradually darkened, and many people started a fire in the forest. Not long after, everyone heard a series of low sounds, like a cat meowing in the middle of the night. It sounded like an infant crying, and the sounds that came out at this moment were like thousands of cats meowing at the same time, making one's hair stand on ends. This is Little Night Devil's call. Little Night Devil has come out to cultivate. Bai Yuyu said. As the number of Little Night Devil continued to increase, it was possible to tell that the number of Little Night Devil was gradually increasing. There were so many Little Night Devil with the strength of a mid to late stage worldly immortal, and now, Chen Shang understood why those large powers had sent over 100,000 people. Then, Chen Shang sensed a few strong auras approaching him. They belonged to the Dragon Emperor and He Piching. This was all something that Chen Shang was more familiar with, but the following chi made Long Shui and Chen Shang shocked. Why is this aura so familiar, yet also strange? Chen Shang said. Dragon Emperor and the rest were here to meet with the large group, but there was still a group of strong people here. It's from the Imperial Avian race, the true king of birds has come. Looking at this aura, it should be a phoenix. Long Shui said. Phoenix, isn't this already extinct? Chen Shang said in shock. As soon as he finished speaking, he saw a young man with a cold expression slowly walking over. He wore a white robe, and his expression gave off a very cold feeling. However, there was a very hot aura erupting from his body. It was as if he had suddenly appeared here, and slowly walked towards the Dragon Emperor in front of him. Not long after he appeared, a loud bird cry rang out. Golden light suddenly exploded in the forest, and a middle-aged man appeared. This middle-aged man was the Golden Rock King, and he followed behind the young man in white. So this is the phoenix. Why does it look like a man? Chen Shang said, giving people a strong feeling. The phoenixes are divided into genders as well. The males and females are the phoenixes, but later on, they were all referred to as phoenixes. I wonder if it's good. Long Shui licked his lips. He should have a son and woman, little phoenix, hee. Chen Shang also had no interest in knowing what would happen to the Phoenix and Dragon Emperor. He was only concerned about them. If he were to live in a nearby immortal palace, he wouldn't be scared by the howls and screams coming from Night Devil Hell. If it was his first time hearing it, even if he wasn't afraid, he would be annoyed. Chen Shang saw that a few of them had already made up their minds to return at daybreak. What followed was the arrival of the 10 Heavenly Master Immortal Countries and Sage Realm Immortal Countries. They were all king-level existences. Excluding those powers, there were more than 100,000 people here to take advantage of them. Those powers had even more than 500,000 to 600,000 people. Chen Shang felt that it was already not bad if half of them came back. When dawn arrived, Chen Shang didn't sleep the whole night and only took a simple rest. At this moment, the forest was in an uproar, because the several tens of thousands of people from the great forces had already set off. Chapter 1366. Chen Shang rubbed his eyes as he followed behind a group of people and entered the misty area ahead. Originally, there were people flying, but they were called down. This was because flying was extremely dangerous, especially when flying into the forest. Although it was the outskirts of the Night Devil Hell, the trees outside were huge. I heard that the Night Devil was hiding in the trees, and if they flew too high, I don't even know how they died, it would attract the attention of the group of Night Devil. In addition, Chen Shang and Long Shui discovered that there was a poison mist in the sky. This poison mist did not have a strong poison aura. Even if they absorbed it, it would not cause much trouble, but after accumulating it, it would create a strange energy that would obstruct their blood channels, preventing the innate chi from being released. Could this mist be the natural formation formed by this dragon vein? Chen Shang felt that the poison aura's production might have something to do with this. He couldn't fly, and he had to follow the group. He couldn't run fast, and he had to cross mountains, so his journey was very slow. When he entered the misty area, he could only see things a few hundred feet away. Previously, the Imperial Dragon Clan and the Imperial Feather Race had fought to gain control of the myriad Dan Immortal country's throne, but now that they saw the emperors of the two clans didn't have any conflicts, Chen Shang was a little surprised. Chen Shang walked in front and could see the Dragon Emperor and the Phoenix walking side by side. They were in the middle of the group, but the Golden Rock King's expression was not very natural. Only 2 from Imperial Avian race came. Everyone could see that there were a lot of Imperial Dragon Clan's dragons, but there were only 2 Imperial Avian race's birds. They are indeed very powerful, but if the Imperial Avian race wants to fight for the treasures inside, just the 2 of them will not be able to do much. Long Shui said. Soon, it was night. They had let go of a few tall mountains and were resting at the foot of the mountain. However, everyone was on their guard now. At night, a chilling wail could be heard from within the dense fog. This time, it was even clearer. Moreover, it seemed to come from all directions, causing one to feel as if there were tens of thousands of demons and ghosts hiding within the fog. This was a flat piece of land, and a bonfire was set up here. However, the amount of light it could illuminate was limited because of the dense fog. With several 100,000 people here, only a small amount could be seen, making everyone feel even more terrified. However, it is better for us to get closer to the devil-suppressing divine palace. If the night devil appears, those fellows can be dealt with. Chen Shang was not the only one with this thought, many people did. All those places were already filled to the brim. Night devil has appeared, Long Shui shouted. The moment her words left her mouth, a scream sounded out. Everyone immediately looked over, but they could not see anything. All they saw was a thick fog that reflected the light of the fire. After that, more and more miserable cries came out. All of them were the people who were attacked by the night devil, and all of them were the people who followed along to join in the fun, but did not have a lot of strength. It's over there. Let's go take a look. Chen Shang stood up. He also wanted to see the night devil. Everyone was squeezing towards him, but when he walked towards the night devil, it made everyone think that he had gone crazy. Chen Shang could smell the scent of blood, but he could not see any traces of blood. Looking carefully at the ground, he realized that there were traces of blood droplets, and also messy footprints. They were eaten. These night devil ate very cleanly, or they might have been taken away. Bai Yuyu said. Be careful, Long Shui shouted. Chen Shang also sensed some movement from above. These night devils actually swooped down to attack them from above, no wonder they were so easily dealt with. These night devil aren't much either. Chen Shang took a step forward, and avoided the attack from the night devil. This was little night devil, stupid as expected. Chen Shang did not use the innate chi, he only used his physical body's strength to feel the energy source in little night devil's body. His body shape was the same as a person's, except that his skin was green-black, his arms were long, reaching all the way down to his knees, his body was tall and sturdy, he looked very strong, just that the muscles that suddenly appeared, along with the green and black color, gave people a very disgusting feeling. This little night devil had a human face, but his teeth were black. Moreover, they were very sharp, and the little night devil's mouth was filled with blood. A group is coming, Long Shui said. They all came from the sky and swooped down at an extremely high speed. Chen Shang struck his heaven-blasting palm towards the sky and the impact of his palm caused the ground to crack. With a boom, Chen Zhang's palm power pierced through the few incoming little night devils. The heavenly core-like object in little night devil's body was shattered, causing an intense explosion. Many people felt that it was unexpected. They knew that the people fighting the little night devil right now were not the people from devil-suppressing divine palace, but those who had followed them here. All these guys are covered in venom. This poison is the same as the venom in the air. It seems like this little night devil can rely on absorbing the venom to strengthen itself. Chen Shang realized that these little night devil were not simple. This place was only the outskirts, so the number of little night devils were not many. The only few were already destroyed by Chen Shang, who returned with the first little night devil he killed. He threw it on the ground. Everyone around was shocked, they actually brought back the corpse of a little night devil. With your cultivation at the late stage of the worldly immortal stage, you are good at attacking from the sky. Your hands are very long and powerful, your nails can penetrate some armor and are even poisonous. If you don't want to die, then go back tomorrow. If you want to enter deeper into the world, as long as it is night, there are as many of these things as locusts. After Chen Shang left these words, he disappeared into the dense fog. He came to the side of the large group, and wanted to let them stay within his line of sight. Deep in the night, there were many screams. However, there were no more screams. When dawn arrived, many people had already left. Only a few powerful people continued to follow the group. The Imperial Avian race is here, there's more than 20 of them. Long Shui shouted excitedly. That small gold eagle is more than enough for us to eat for a long time. Don't keep thinking about other things. Chen Shang laughed. The Imperial Avian race had around 20 plus people, but the one walking in front was a red-clothed female with a long ponytail. The female's face was elegant, and even though there was a cold and arrogant expression on her face, her eyes made people feel that she was amiable, giving people a noble yet very gentle feeling. Isn't her face the same as the phoenix? Could it be that this is Imperial Avian race, and she looks very much like her phoenix father, but her strength is not as strong as her father's, and can't even be compared to Hefeng. She actually dares to come here and throw her life away, and she has already lost a small gold eagle. Long Shui said. Chapter 1367. Chen Shang also felt that it was unwise for the Imperial Avian race to bring a weak phoenix here. Chen Shang also felt that it was unwise for the Imperial Avian race to bring a weak phoenix here. Perhaps this phoenix has the talent to undergo rebirth, which is why it isn't afraid of death. Long Shui said. Can your heaven tour go deeper in? I used some just now, and before long, the power of my divine soul dissipated. In this sort of environment, it was very easy for the god to explore the path, but right now, the god could not swim too far. I can't either. There's a type of energy in the fog that can corrode god power. If our god power is too far away from us, it will easily corrode and can only be used nearby. Long Shui was also in the same situation, except she could put it a little further than Chen Shang. The night devil would not appear during the day, so during the day, everyone would rush there, but that did not mean that it was absolutely safe. The danger was not limited to just the night devil. Chen Shang felt that even if he had the map, it would still be very difficult to follow the route on the map. This was because he was unable to see the terrain here and could not find the correct path compared to the map. There were hundreds of thousands of superpowers in front, and only 10 to 20 million people at the back wasn't scared of death. Originally, there were more than 200,000 people, but after the appearance of Night Devil last night and the deaths of a few, many people had already retreated and left at dawn. After walking for more than an hour, Chen Shang arrived at the top of a tall mountain. He used the Chaos Divine Eye to look into the distance, and even though he could not see those mountains clearly, he could still see their contours through the Chaos Divine Eye. I haven't found him. It seems that he hasn't entered the Night Devil Hell yet. Chen Shang shook his head and looked down. At this time, the several 100,000 people had already reached the mountainside, and there was a small mountain in front of them. Of course, Chen Shang could not see clearly. He had used the Chaos Divine Eye to see through the dense fog and the outline of the mountain. Just as he was about to go forward, he realized that the small mountain below him had gone east for a while. He knew that he was not wrong. This was the sacred beast's ancient realm, and there were many powerful beasts here. Of course, there would be some that would run out, and these beasts were one of the dangers in the outer area of the Night Devil Hell. After Chen Shang realized what had happened, he stopped in his tracks immediately. Through the Chaos Divine Eye, he saw a red blob that suddenly flew out. The Phoenix has made its move. I wonder if it's that Phoenix Princess or that Phoenix King. Chen Shang was unable to sense the chi in front of him, because the strange mist could stop the chi from spreading. It's that little Phoenix girl. I didn't expect her strength to be so much stronger than I expected. Long Shui said. Much stronger than you? Chen Shang asked with a smile. HMPH, you should be asking me how much stronger she is than me. This kind of bird isn't my match at all. If I were to attack, I would be able to kill her with a swing of my tail. She is only a Phoenix Princess, while I am a Heavenly Dragon Supreme Lord. I am not even comparable to her. Long Shui bragged proudly, as if the Phoenix Princess would immediately kneel down and worship him when he appeared. Alright, Honorable Heavenly Dragon Supreme Lord, go and capture her. The taste of the Phoenix meat should be pretty good, right? Chen Shang laughed. The phoenix meat isn't tasty. It's very hard and sour, and it'll be very bitter when heated. Moreover, it's not easy to cut. Compared to the taste of the golden rock meat, it's like heaven and earth. There were very few phoenixes in the first place, and he had never heard her say it before, especially since he had been with Long Shui for so long. I've never eaten it before, but there's a reference to it in my inheritance of memory. It can't be wrong, Long Shui said. The Phoenix Princess's strength was not bad, and he managed to get rid of the gigantic beast blocking his path in an instant. All he heard was the beast's angry roar, and then there was nothing else. What a waste, it turned to dust in an instant. There are a lot of spiritual crystal on that beast. Chen Shang said with a look of pity. I am a Phoenix Princess, I lack these spiritual crystal. Long Shui said. Chen Shang ran down from the top of the mountain. At this point, he was already lagging behind a lot of people, and the group of people at the back felt extremely relaxed, because the group in front led the way. The ones at the back didn't need to worry about anything, they just had to be careful of the Night Devil-S. Chen Shang felt that it would be good if this group of people could return 10% alive. As for the disciples that the big powers called, they would probably all be sending themselves to their deaths. In any case, these big powers did not lack disciples from the bottom rankers, there would be a lot of people who would want to join their forces every day. As the sky darkened, the screams became louder and louder. Not long after, everyone felt as if they were enveloped by the screams, all around them, and even more loudly, as if someone was wailing in your ear. It was as if someone was wailing in your ear. Chen Shang did not mind, he could just directly seal off his hearing, so that he would not be affected, and only used his divine force to observe his surroundings. This place can already be considered a night devil hell. If a night devil appears, it wouldn't be a few more. Bai Yuyu said. Based on the voices, the group of Night Devil here is commanded by a Night Devil King. Night Devil King is intelligent, and not one bit inferior to humans. Hearing Bai Yuyu's warning, Chen Shang immediately became vigilant, he did not want to be injured the moment he stepped into Night Devil Hell. The leaders of the big powers seemed to have sensed the danger at hand, but they did not need to worry too much about themselves, they were all very strong, as long as it was not Night Devil King who attacked them in a group. They would not feel pressured, and they would just use the energy released from their bodies to form a protective shield, and the Night Devil would not dare to approach them. Chen Zhang's god power could be released to a circumference of 100 meters. He was already on guard in the sky, because those Night Devil were all launched a sneak attack from the air. There are a lot of them. Although they are all little Night Devil-s, but with so many of them, even an Immortal King would not be able to hold them off. Long Shui exclaimed. How many? Chen Shang swallowed his saliva, and then took a deep breath. At least 200,000. Hearing this number, Chen Shang trembled a little. It was also at this time that the ground shook slightly. It's all over the sky and on the ground. Long Shui said. There's a Night Devil underground. Chen Shang shouted, and then jumped up quickly. At the same time, he released the profound WU cover hood, using the powerful water attribute innate chi to protect himself, so that the Night Devil in the air wouldn't be able to touch his body. Chapter 1368, Whoosh. The moment Chen Shang jumped up, the ground suddenly bulged and a large group of Night Devil-s appeared. Originally, there were many bonfires, but they were all extinguished by the Night Devil-s that appeared from the ground. Chen Shang felt that he had bumped into many, and there were even countless Night Devil-s biting at him or using their hands to tear him apart, but they were unable to break through the thick water barrier that was being infused with the power of the demon-suppressing orb. There was no longer any light. It was now pitch black and the ground was filled with miserable screams. The strong stench of blood and the murderous aura from Night Devil caused everyone to feel disgusted and terrified. In the darkness, there were occasionally some rays of light that emitted out. Chen Shang could sense that there was a very strong aura coming from the direction of the great powers, and those big shots had also joined the battle. So many. Chen Shang felt as if he was floating in an ocean formed by the Night Devil. Even if he did not use the energy in his body, he could still float in the air. If this continues, I won't be able to hold on much longer. This group of things is too terrifying. Chen Shang felt that his profound WU cover hood was weakening bit by bit, because all of these Night Devil-s were in the mid to late stages of the immortal realm. They were frantically attacking him and had very strong powers. Of the people who came here to join in on the fun, you are the only one left now. The rest of them don't even have bones left, and there are 3 immortal monarchs amongst them. Long Shui said. What? Chen Shang was shocked. He had only just stepped into the Night Devil hell and he already encountered such a terrifying attack. Even 3 immortal monarchs wouldn't be able to hold off this group of hungry Night Devils for long. Mother CKER. Chen Shang was enraged. His hands suddenly released profound WU cover hood, releasing a few balls of heaven fire. The heaven flames of the heaven and earth were released using the devil suppressing holy power. It had a huge destructive power on these little Night Devil, and these little Night Devil were all squeezed together. In a short moment, the heaven flames spread out, burning a large portion of the little Night Devil. Little Night Devil was swept by the heaven flames of the heaven and earth. They released many sharp shouts. They wanted to escape in all directions, but they were helpless as they were surrounded by extremely Night Devils. These little Night Devil were really stupid, they were all used to it. Now, they didn't even need to fly, and just piled them all up here. After Chen Shang released the heaven flames, he felt much more relaxed. At least he wouldn't be squeezed together by the countless little Night Devil. This kind of number of little Night Devils should be directly commanded by a Night Devil King. Normally, a Night Devil King would have at least 100 Night Devil Kings, and these 100 Night Devil Kings would bring at least 10 million of them. Bai Yu said. At least 10 million little Night Devils, just thinking about it made Chen Shang shudder. If you were yourself, you probably wouldn't attract the attention of these little Night Devil. Su Meiyao said. You will follow this large group of people, so you will be easily discovered. Once you find the route on the map, don't follow them. The heaven flame that Chen Shang released was very difficult to extinguish. Once it was ignited a little, it would quickly spread throughout his entire body. There's actually such a powerful being in that group of humans. This kind of flame is actually on par with mine. Phoenix Princess had a serious face as he looked at the raging flames outside the barrier. The place where this large group of people were, was protected by a gigantic barrier, and the little Night Devils were all covered outside of the barrier. The heaven flames that Chen Shang had released had already spread to this place, and the people inside all killed the little Night Devils through the barrier. Father, what kind of flame is that? I can't tell. She waved her hand and released 2 fiery red rays of light. After passing through the barrier, they struck the little Night Devils' bodies, but their burning speed was not as fast as Chen Zhang's. The heaven flame with the power to suppress demons, this kind of heaven flame is better than the 5 elements heavenly fire. The Phoenix King said. This person is not from my devil-suppressing divine palace. There aren't many in my devil-suppressing divine palace that can use sky fire at this level. It could be that he is a rogue cultivator who has learned our technique. An old man from the devil-suppressing divine palace said. Everyone, be careful, this is a surprise attack from the Night Devil King. They are currently planning to wear us down. Towards this kind of small thing, we do not need to take action, and only have the power to deal with the Night Devil King and the Night Devil King. The one who spoke was the Dragon Emperor. He seemed to understand quite a bit about this place. Damn it, if that group of fellows weren't here, I would have easily taken care of them with either the Holy Devil Suppressing Seal or the Green Dragon Demon Slain Broadsword. Chen Shang said. Although he had burned a lot of little Night Devil, these little Night Devil were like locusts, hard to kill. With heaven-suppressed immortal monument, there won't be many people who will know about this. Even if they do, it doesn't matter. Su Meiyao said. The heaven-suppressed immortal monument was something that Chen Shang had obtained from a huge profound being. That profound being was originally discovered by the Fire Divine Palace, and shipped to a volcano to be melted, only then did the heaven-suppressed immortal monument appear. Chen Shang had once used this devil-suppressing monument to destroy a holy ranked artifact in a super array plate. When the heaven-suppressed immortal monument appeared, cold air overflowed everywhere. Previously, Chen Shang was still using flames, but in the blink of an eye, he had used such a strong power of frost, which was very surprising. Chen Shang controlled the heaven-suppressed immortal monument to float in the air, and those little Night Devils didn't dare to approach it. This divine steel, which had once suppressed the heavens and earth, contained a very, very powerful and terrifying cold energy. The heaven-suppressed immortal monument floated into the air and with a loud shout, it fell down ferociously. At the same time, it extracted a large amount of immortal chi from the thick mist. Chen Zhang's divine power and innate chi were also extracted in large amounts. Phew, when the heaven-suppressed immortal monument pressed down, it created an extremely cold pressure, causing a gust of ice astral wind to blow away all the little Night Devil around Chen Shang. Those little Night Devil who were blown away were also frozen up at the same time, smashing into each other and turning into pieces of shattered ice. The heaven-suppressed immortal monument had fallen onto the ground and everything around them was covered in ice. When Chen Shang sat on the gigantic heaven-suppressed immortal monument, the little night devil did not come any closer because they hated the cold energy released by the heaven-suppressed immortal monument. Chen Shang was currently very close to those several 100,000 people. Because of the heaven-suppressed immortal monument, the surrounding little night devil had disappeared as well. The hundreds of thousands of people could see through the chi barrier that there was a young man sitting on top of a heaven-suppressed immortal monument that was emitting a holy and white light. Chapter 1369. The cold energy released by the heaven-suppressed immortal monument was suddenly surrounded by ice, and many broken limbs of the little night devil could be seen inside the ice. Just one person was enough to suppress so many little night devils. This kind of strength was truly admirable. A few big shots all knew that Chen Shang had burned several 100,000 little night devils to death with his flames, and the moment the heaven-suppressed immortal monument appeared, another 100,000 little night devils all died. Right now, all the experts were looking at the heaven-suppressed immortal monument that Chen Shang was sitting on. There were no inscriptions on it, and other than the large stone monument, there was nothing special about it. "Be careful of Night Devil King," Phoenix Princess that was inside the chi barrier shouted. Chen Shang had been on guard this entire time. After the heaven-suppressed immortal monument appeared, the surrounding mist had dispersed, making it possible to see very clearly, and the range of his divine power was even wider. Chen Shang had killed so many little night devil, if they appeared, they would definitely attack him. "Bad things for me." Just as he shouted out in anger, a beam of red light shot out from one direction towards Chen Zhang's head. The Dragon Emperor was right there at the side. The great enemies of the devil-suppressing divine palace and the other devil-suppressing divine palace were also there, so Chen Shang didn't dare to reveal himself too much. "I've been waiting for you for a long time." Chen Shang quickly waved his hand and threw out a dagger. It was the Devil Emperor dagger that could devour the power of myriad demons. The Devil Emperor dagger flew out, and after swallowing the red light that carried an extremely strong demonic aura, it pierced towards the incoming Night Devil King. Ancient demon weapon Euro. The Night Devil King was shocked. The power contained within the Devil Emperor dagger made him feel like he was facing a powerful demon god. Night Devil King immediately dodged the Devil Emperor dagger, seeing that he knew the dagger was not to be touched, but just as he dodged, Chen Shang already controlled the heaven-suppressed immortal monument, and it fiercely smashed down. "You're not strong enough." The Night Devil King struck towards the bottom of the heaven-suppressed immortal monument, using his powerful strength to shatter the heaven-suppressed immortal monument's power. He exchanged blows with Chen Shang and knew that Chen Shang wasn't that strong, or else the heaven-suppressed immortal monument's attack just now would have heavily injured him. Night Devil King's arm was already stiff, he anxiously used his power to remove the cold energy. Now, Chen Shang could finally see the Night Devil King very clearly. Compared to the other little Night Devil, she looked a lot whiter, more like a human. However, her two arms were still so long, and her skin still had a hint of black chi, but she didn't look that scary. If Chen Shang used his full strength right now, with Long Shui's strength, he could deal with the Night Devil King with things like the Green Dragon Demon Slain Broadsword and the Holy Devil Suppressing Seal, but his current conditions did not allow it, and he did not plan to fight to the death with them either, because there was still a large group of experts at his side. "Seems like he isn't too strong after all." Phoenix Princess looked at Phoenix King and nodded at her. With her permission, 2 hoops of flame appeared in Phoenix Princess's hands. The weapon she used was a relatively unpopular one, so she threw out a fire hoop from afar. The fire hoop was like a light arrow, dragging a long fire tail as it shot towards Night Devil King. Seeing that someone had joined the battle, Chen Shang quickly kept his heaven-suppressed immortal monument and left the battlefield, entering into a thick mist. Seeing him slip away so quickly, the Phoenix Princess was a little unhappy and he let out a low snort. Both the Dragon Emperor and the Phoenix King frowned because Chen Zhang's concealment abilities had surprised him. In such a short period of time, it was as if Chen Shang had evaporated, and he could not detect even a trace of his aura. Furthermore, he was not attacked by the little Night Devil. "This Phoenix Princess is really nosy, but I have to thank her. If not for her help, I would have been exposed sooner or later." Chen Shang had become a leaf on the ground, and no one could find him. "I think she was the one who was interested in you. She was the one who warned you before as well." Long Shui smiled ambiguously. "Although I am very confident in my charm, I am not overly confident. How could I be captivating this Phoenix Princess all of a sudden?" Chen Shang just felt that the Phoenix Princess was more kind-hearted. Don't underestimate yourself. There are many powerful women who are interested in you, at least my heavenly dragon Supreme Lord is interested in you. Do you think I am not as good as that Phoenix Princess? Long Shui laughed. Chen Shang had even gone through a great mental upheaval with her, so in a sense, this little naughty dragon could already be considered one of his people. So powerful, in a few moves, he killed Night Devil King. Chen Shang exclaimed. After conversing with Long Shui for a while, the Night Devil King was smashed by the 2 fire rings that flew around for dozens of times. After just killing 1 demon and devil realms, a large group of little Night Devils rushed over from the sky and the ground. The Phoenix Princess frowned, and a ball of fire suddenly emerged from her back. No little Night Devil could sense Chen Shang, so Chen Shang was currently very safe. He would not risk his life to attack those little Night Devils like he did before, as it would not benefit him at all. With the Night Devil King here, the other Immortal Kings would not take action much. They all want to deal with the Night Devil Kings, seems like there are a few Night Devil Kings watching. Bai Yuyu said. Are there a lot of Night Devil Kings here? Chen Shang asked. There are a lot of Night Devil here, I don't know how they came about it, but even if they were killed, there are still a lot of them, and even if they don't eat humans, they can still survive. After a long time, they can evolve to become the Night Devil King, and over the years, very few experts have entered this place to kill the Night Devil. Most of these Night Devil Kings would first send a large group of their little Night Devils to their deaths, using up their opponent's strength, and then find a chance to launch a sneak attack. It would be very detrimental. The Qi barrier released a faint multicolored light. Chen Shang, who was hiding at the side, could see that the people who were attacking the barrier were all from the weak powers, while the Immortal Kings were only commanding from the side. If this continues, it will continue to be wasted until daybreak. As long as day broke, these little Night Devil would hide away for some unknown reason. Yes, if there wasn't a chance, those Night Devil Kings would not have intervened, because there are a lot of little Night Devil here, they don't care about the lives of those little Night Devils at all. Su Meiyao said. The little Night Devil were covered in venom, and the energy sources in their body were not heaven pills or anything like that, the corpses were useless to them, causing Chen Shang to feel that it was a pity. Otherwise, with so many corpses, if they were to be used at all, it would be extremely useful. Chapter 1370. When dawn was about to break, the large group of little Night Devils suddenly dispersed. No one knew why they would all fly away before daybreak, but these Night Devils were not afraid of the light at all. If it's daylight, they're not that powerful. Once the sunlight shines on them, they'll turn into mist. Bai Yuyu said, my master tried it all those years ago, and even the Night Devil King would not dare to appear in broad daylight. Then, do you know where they are hiding? Chen Shang asked. Deep underground. This made Chen Shang think of the group of Earth's core race in the dragon vein. They couldn't appear during the daytime, so if the sunlight shone on them, they would die. Could it be that these Night Devil and the others are the same, cursed? Chen Shang had doubts in his heart, because the births of these Night Devil had always been a mystery. When the sky brightened, everyone breathed a sigh of relief because they hadn't suffered any losses from last night. Those who had died were only those who had followed them. Chen Shang turned into a fly and followed behind these hundreds of thousands of people. Right now he was extremely safe, even if something powerful suddenly appeared, it would be directed at the group of people in front. He followed this group of people because he wanted to find the route marked on the map to enter the Night Devil Hell more safely. If that route was safe, he wouldn't need to follow this group of people. They had already reached the Night Devil Hell's side last night, and today, they would definitely head deeper into the Night Devil Hell. Now that we are inside the Night Devil Hell, it will not be as safe as it was before. There are dangers everywhere inside. Bai Yuyu said. Right now, she felt that the inside of the forest was extremely dangerous, because it was extremely quiet inside the dense fog. After going over 2 mountains, it was already noon. On the summit of the mountain just now, Chen Shang checked the terrain ahead, making him curious. He used the Chaos Divine Eye to look through the dense white fog, but he did not see the outline of the mountain. Seems to be close. Chen Shang was suddenly excited, because on the map, there was a large piece of flat land, and it was very close to a safe route. Now that he knew where he was on the map, it was very easy for him to reach the safe route, so he did not need to follow the group of people in front. There's movement, Long Shui said. The people in front have stopped. The ground is shaking. It seems like there is a large group of things charging over. Chen Shang looked at the ground and noticed that the ground had traces of slightly trembling. There was dense fog all around, and they couldn't see what was in front of them. Furthermore, they were on a flat land, and the mountains were all around. If something were to rush over, it might very well be beasts, because Night Devil only appeared at night. It's a beast tide. This group of people are in trouble. I think more than half of them will die. Long Shui said. Chen Shang immediately used his Chaos Divine Eye. Through the clouds, he could see many dense groups of people running towards him. Like a tide, they were extremely turbulent and crazy. The way they ran caused the ground to shake. The countless beasts suddenly roared at the same time, causing the roars to shake the earth, scaring many people to the point that their faces turned pale, because they knew that this thing that came over was different from the little night devil from last night. Although those little night devils were only in the intermediate stage of the worldly immortal stage, they were extremely afraid of the power of the devil-suppressing divine palace. However, there were many giant beasts rushing over at this moment. Furthermore, there were even a few very powerful auras. It seemed that these were not only ordinary giant beasts, but also powerful beast kings and beast kings. Hurry to the safe route. Su Meiyao said. There were at least a few 100,000 of them. They had obviously been waiting here for a long time, and the moment someone stepped in, they would immediately rush over in a grandiose manner. Chen Shang floated in the air and changed back into his human form. Then, he activated Chaos Divine Eye to its limit and looked at the mountain in front of him. There was a large mountain next to this gourd-shaped mountain, and within this mountain, there would be a small crack, just big enough for two people to walk through side by side. It was unknown if it was formed naturally, or if someone had intentionally dug it, but in short, the deep crack was very safe, the beast would be difficult to attack, and it would not be easy to be discovered. Chen Shang immediately flew towards the entrance of the safe route. Not long after he flew, the sounds of a great battle came from behind him, accompanied by intense beast roars. Even the flying Chen Shang had been greatly affected, causing his speed to become much slower. Wow, even Dragon Emperor and Dragon Emperor joined the battle. No wonder Elder Sister Yu's master was so heavily injured that year. Night Devil Hell is indeed very powerful. Long Shui said in shock. Chen Shang could also sense the auras of the Dragon Emperor and the Phoenix King. For them to make a move, it must be because a very strong Beast King had arrived, and it was not only one of them. Chen Shang took half an hour to distance himself from the battlefield. At the moment, he was completely unaffected, and his speed had increased by a lot. Almost there, Chen Shang increased his speed and used the power of the spatial laws to teleport. Not long after, he saw the small crack on the mountain before him. If it wasn't for his good eyesight, he probably would have seen it too. Now, he also discovered a strange phenomenon. The area he was in actually no longer had that white fog, which allowed him to clearly see the scenery in front of him. There's someone. Chen Shang was shocked. She thought that he could see them clearly, that was why he could see the people in front of him. It's that Phoenix Princess. No wonder I couldn't sense her aura earlier. I didn't expect her to already be here. Long Shui said. And he Feng A the others should be sent by the big powers. I never would have thought that they also know where this safe entrance is. Could it be that there are a lot of maps? Chen Shang sensed that something was wrong, because this person was here and he had obviously already known about it. Look at that map carefully. There are many forks in the road. Perhaps the forks in the road on their map are different. Perhaps yours is the most correct. Long Shui said. Phoenix Princess, He Feng and the rest did not fight with the group of beasts, but instead, came here. They're fighting. He Feng is actually fighting with the Phoenix Princess. Long Shui was shocked. Phoenix Princess was an existence similar to Prince Imperial Dragon, but right now, he was actually provoked by a prince of Myriad Dan Immortal country. Chapter 1371. Chen Shang had become a small flying insect again, and no one entered the crack yet. The young experts that came here all looked to be better, they did not immediately enter, but chose to fight instead. Seems like many forces have joined together to deal with this Phoenix Princess. I'm afraid that this Phoenix Princess will not be able to enter that crevice. Long Shui said. Chen Shang looked at the mountains on both sides of the crevice. The mountains were so tall that one couldn't see the top, and if he wanted to reach the summit of these mountains, it would definitely be difficult. Look up, Long Shui said. Chen Shang immediately looked above the Phoenix Princess. A cyclone actually appeared, and Phoenix Princess also seemed to be locked on top of it, making it difficult to leave this region. Although that He Feng was powerful, she was very afraid of the fire rings in her hands. It's the Heavenly Dragon Seal, it's being used by the Imperial Dragon Clan, it's actually 2 against 1 euro. It's not 2 against 1, but to group up and beat this Phoenix Princess. Look at the young experts of the other forces, they are all ready to make a move. Long Shui said. Chen Shang looked at the dozens of men and women in front of the crevice. They had all taken out their immortal swords and treasures, and were all together. The Heavenly Dragon Seal descended and directly struck Phoenix Princess. The locked-on Phoenix Princess was hit squarely in the face, and her reaction was also timely. Her arm had turned into a giant flaming wing, using her flaming phoenix wings to block part of the attack, but she spat out a small mouthful of blood. Let's go. Looking at her special innate chi surname, she should be from the Divine Wind Heavenly Kingdom, which means she was Feng Clan S of the Tong Tian aristocratic family. As she shouted, a group of young experts holding onto their immortal swords, rushed towards Phoenix Princess. Help her. She helped you before, Long Shui said. She also could not bear to see such bullying. I know, I'm waiting for an opportunity. Chen Shang was very clear about his own strength. If he was surrounded by those young warriors, it would be very difficult for him to deal with them. Phoenix Princess was currently very angry. If she fought alone, she would definitely win, but she did not expect to be ambushed by Imperial Dragon Clan's Heavenly Dragon Seal, and there were still more than 10 young experts from other forces rushing towards her, blocking her escape, as though they wanted to kill her. Imperial Feather Race and He Piqing, the new king, had always been at odds, and it was normal for the two to be surrounded and attacked. She was a phoenix, so her body was incomparably precious, even the holy dragon of an Imperial Dragon Clan couldn't compare to her. Phoenix Princess was very strong. Facing the onslaught of so many people, although he was severely injured, he could still hold on. His entire body was covered in raging flames as he controlled the dual rings in his hands to attack the young experts around him. Chen Shang had already snuck near the Phoenix Princess. He was currently only a few hundred meters away from the Phoenix Princess. He had to endure the shockwaves of the battle and get closer to it little by little, so that he would not be discovered. You shameless things are all from prestigious families. I didn't expect you guys to do such a thing. At this time, she was already covered in wounds. If not for the phoenix blood which allowed her to regenerate, she would have been taken down long ago. You can't let us who are not part of this alliance enter this path. Even faster, you are the Imperial Feather Race, you have once prevented my royal father from ascending the throne, and you, the Imperial Feather Race, brought this upon yourself. As He Feng was speaking, that Imperial Dragon Clan unleashed another Heavenly Dragon Seal, and it was a Flash Dragon's punishment for this sudden attack. The severely injured Phoenix Princess was suddenly struck by lightning and cried out. Her entire body felt numb and she was unable to use her powers for a moment, causing her to fall from the sky. I want your Phoenix Elixir. He Feng laughed out loud. He dove down from the sky and chased after Phoenix Princess, the immortal sword in his hand piercing towards Phoenix Princess. Just as Phoenix Princess was about to lose all hope, she suddenly saw He Feng's wildly laughing face suddenly freeze, followed by the appearance of a ray of cyan light. She only saw a beautiful cyan arc appear, accompanied by the sound of a resounding dragon cry. Green Dragon Demon Slain Broadsword. Although Chen Shang was quick to retract his blade, anyone would be able to catch the mighty green dragon blade body, and the overbearing aura that was filled with might immediately allowed people to recognize the blade. Chen Shang, who suddenly appeared, cut off He Feng's arm and took away his arm and the immortal sword. It was not the first time someone cut off He Feng's arm and stole the sword, but the second time. Previously, it was also Chen Shang who did it, but he did not know that it was Chen Shang. Chen Shang cut off He Feng's arm and traveled downwards, grabbing onto Phoenix Princess's body. Stepping on the shrinking step and using the spatial travel, he managed to enter the crevice in a few moments. After entering, he threw out a few more destruction ice sealdan and froze this path. Soon after, Long Shui also appeared. He smashed the two sides of the crack behind Chen Shang. They wanted to block the road. Chen Shang was running very fast in the crevice, but Long Shui was able to release a powerful divine ability from inside the ring, causing the two walls to shake violently, and causing a large amount of huge rocks to fall. Phoenix Princess only saw Chen Zhang's sudden appearance before he fainted. At this time, Chen Shang was still carrying him, running frantically through the crevice. After 3 days and 3 nights passed, Chen Shang was very safe inside the crevice, and along the way, Long Shui was in charge of blocking the way. As for how he was going to get out, that was a matter of the future, and the most important thing was to make sure that he wasn't being hunted down right now, because his identity had already been exposed, and there was still the group of experts from Dragon Emperor that was behind him. Phoenix Princess was heavily injured, but Chen Shang was not worried about her. Her recovery rate was much better than Ji Meixian's, and in the past 3 days, he could feel that the injuries in her body had recovered a lot. I can't stop yet, at least in 10 days. Although Dragon Emperor and the rest of the people are fighting with the ancient beasts, but Hefeng and the other little ghosts can't be underestimated. Long Shui said. Chen Shang had been running inside the crack for 2 days, and it was very dark inside. On both sides were 30,000 meters high stone walls. There's a fork in the road, the leftmost one. Su Meiyao said. She had already memorized the map and was following the route on the map. Then I won't be blocking the way. Long Shui also stopped blocking the road behind him, and there were 4 paths here. After 5 more days, Chen Shang had been running frantically in the crevice for 10 days. The Phoenix Princess had already woken up, but she was still weak, and currently, Chen Shang was carrying her on his back and running hard. Although Chen Shang was running very fast, it was very smooth and did not make her uncomfortable. Thank you, Phoenix Princess whispered into Chen Zhang's ear. She, who was extremely weak, was speaking with a very soft voice while spitting out an orchid. Feeling that someone was blowing next to his ear, Chen Zhang's heart slightly trembled. You're welcome, you helped me before too, but now we owe each other nothing. Chen Shang said. So the person who used the stone tablet to hit the night devil was you. Phoenix Princess suddenly understood. Chen Shang was indeed quite weak, but she had a lot of methods up her sleeve, otherwise he wouldn't have been able to save her. Don't talk, take good care of your body. Chen Shang said in a low voice. Yes, Phoenix Princess replied softly as he placed one side of his face on Chen Zhang's shoulder and fell asleep very quickly. If she wasn't so weak right now, Chen Shang really wanted to ask her about this crevice, because she, Imperial Dragon Clan and those people from the big powers all knew about it. Chen Shang traveled for a few days and discovered that there would be forks in the road every so often. There were 4 of them every time. If not for the map, he would not even know which one he would have chosen. However, Chen Shang was still carrying her on his back, because her internal injuries were still very severe. Although walking and running was no longer a problem, it could not be used in large amounts, and her speed would not be too fast either. Right now, Chen Shang did not dare to slow down, as he was worried that the Dragon Emperor behind him would catch up. Are you better now? Chen Shang asked. It's much better now. Put me down, Phoenix Princess said gently, with a smile on his face. No, you can't run fast now. What if the Dragon Emperor catches up to you? That guy hates me to death, and if he knows I'm here, he would chase after me without caring about anything else. Chen Shang said. When Chen Shang ran on the shrinking step, it was as if his entire person was walking on a great river. He moved forward quickly along with the smooth flow of the water, and didn't feel any bumps like when he was running. According to the piss of those bastards, I reckon when they saw your father, they would even fabricate a lie saying that I kidnapped you and then your father would work together with the Dragon Emperor to open up a path. Chen Shang said. Phoenix Princess let out a light sigh. She was very clear about Chen Zhang's current situation. Previously, her father Phoenix had also had the idea of stealing Chen Zhang's divine blade or something similar from him. Who asked you to kill that Prince Imperial Dragon as well as that Sacred Dragon's clan's feud and Immortal? It would be weird if Dragon Emperor doesn't hate you to death. Phoenix Princess said, you're really bold. That idiot Prince Imperial Dragon always wanted to kill me, and he really met a good opportunity to kill me, but he looked down on me too much, and I killed him in a few moves. Chen Shang laughed. If you were like that Prince Imperial Dragon who treats me well, when the time comes, I would act a little more softly against you. Do I look like that kind of bastard to you? The Phoenix Princess said with bitterness. Who knows? In short, I need to be on guard against anyone who doesn't know how they died. Chen Shang was indeed on guard against the Phoenix Princess, so he left all of them in Long Shui's charge. How did you get here? And you seem to know the way. Phoenix Princess also had this question in his heart. I was about to ask you, you royal birds a euro, does Imperial Feather Race have a map? Chen Shang asked. But that map is not complete. Only a small part of it, combined with the Imperial Dragon Clan, Fire Divine Palace, Devil Suppressing Divine Palace and those forces that have the power of heaven and earth, can obtain half of the complete map. As for this complete map, it has already been printed all over the streets, but there is no route. The Phoenix Princess said. So it's like that. Then do you remember the route? Draw it for me to see. Chen Shang said. He wanted to see if the route was the same. Every major power had kept a small fragment of their map. Chapter 1372. Phoenix Princess took out a piece of paper from his storage bag and handed it over to Chen Shang. Phoenix Princess took out a piece of paper from his storage bag and handed it over to Chen Shang. It's different from the safe route on your map. I don't know where they will go, even the destination is different. Could it be that the map their ancestors left behind also contains treasures? Su Meiyao saw through it with a glance. At the first fork in the road, Chen Shang took the leftmost path, while the one on the map of the Phoenix Princess took the rightmost path. Is it the same as yours? At this time, Chen Shang also stopped. If it was different, they would not have caught up, because in the eyes of the group of people, the road they were walking on was probably the one they were walking on. It's not the same. Chen Shang shook his head. Phoenix Princess frowned. Then is the road you're taking dangerous? Do you see any danger along the way? This is only within the crevice. In the end, we still have to leave the crevice. It's hard to say when we go outside. The Phoenix Princess was worried. The depths of the Night Devil Hell was extremely terrifying. Even immortal kings could die without reason, let alone with their strength. Chen Shang returned the map to the Phoenix Princess and said, I need to rest now. After running for so many days, I'm tired. Do you need any medicinal pills? I have some with me that can help you recover faster. Phoenix Princess took out a small jade box. Not to mention that the other party had already passed it over, so Chen Shang directly accepted it with a smile. What pill is this? Chen Shang received a pill that was as red as blood. He could not feel the spirit energy contained within the pill, and was unable to determine what rank it was. The Phoenix Blood pill is formed from a large amount of Phoenix blood. After being processed, it is then preserved. The Phoenix Princess said, it will be of great help to the humans. Quickly eat it. Even Long Shui wanted to try it. After Chen Shang consumed it, the Phoenix Blood pill melted in his body and immediately fused with his Jade Dragon blood, allowing it to quickly flow into his entire body. Originally, his body felt extremely tired, but now, he felt that his entire body was filled with energy. Phoenix Princess, this thing is very precious. Not only can it help people recover quickly, it also seems to be able to help people's blood and bones to have the special characteristic of Phoenix blood in the future. Chen Shang had assimilated a Jade Dragon blood before, so he knew that this could only be accomplished with a large amount of Phoenix blood. It's nothing. Phoenix Princess smiled sweetly. Call me Shui Ying, that's my name. Chen Shang thought that the name of the Phoenix Princess was very similar to Shui Yi. Phoenix Princess built a fire. Her phoenix eyes stared straight at the dancing flames. No one knew what she was thinking, as though her heart was heavy. Shui Ying, what plans do you have for your injuries to be healed? I can't bring you to that place. It is very important to me. There must be danger there, although my strength is not as strong as yours, but you can't compare to me. Chen Shang said. I know. Otherwise, you would not be able to save me. In that situation, it would even be very difficult for me to escape. Of course Phoenix Princess knew about Chen Zhang's ability to protect himself. When surrounded by Dragon Emperor and the other rankers, not only would they be able to safely escape, they would even lose out to the others. I will return on the same path. My father will definitely enter this crack as well. I should be able to meet with him. Phoenix Princess had already made her decision. Just now, she had also eaten a Phoenix Blood pill. Her complexion was already very good. It seemed that she had almost recovered. It was night now, and perhaps because the crevice was too deep and the mountains were on both sides of it, the voices of the Night Devil could not reach here. Shui Ying, in the future, can you become the Phoenix Emperor of the Imperial Feather Race? Chen Shang smiled and said, I don't want to become your enemy. That's still far. My royal father only dares to call himself king, not as arrogant as the Dragon Emperor. He became an emperor before reaching that stage. Phoenix Princess chuckled. I don't want to become your enemy either. Speaking of which, I have to thank you again. Help me get rid of this loathsome Prince Imperial Dragon. If he doesn't die now, and his strength is on par with mine, according to his personality, he will definitely come looking for me to duel every day. Chen Shang and Phoenix Princess chatted all the way until the daytime, and now she was in her best condition. We'll definitely meet again in the future. Take care. Phoenix Princess smiled and bid farewell to Chen Shang. Until we meet again. After the Phoenix Princess left, Chen Shang also continued on his way. It could be said that he was temporarily safe. Until the end of the road, he would not know. After all, the route on the map was from many years ago. Who knows if it was still the same as before. The next time I see her, I'll shamelessly ask her for a little phoenix blood. Adding your jade dragon blood that's the most impressive. Long Shui said. In the future, when your bloodline matures, it will be of great use to me. I wonder where that devil-killing summit is. Chen Shang felt that he had already entered the depths of Night Devil Hell. He wanted to find that devil-killing summit on his way. Su Meiyao and Bai Yu also wanted to. If they could find the young master that knew how to refine pills in the devil-killing summit, they would be able to quickly recover to their previous peak strength, but that was easier said than done. Their master's strength could even cause heavy injuries. Even if Chen Shang had the powerful ability to escape, it would still be useless here. Even my master doesn't know about this. If he had known back then, he wouldn't have returned with heavy injuries. If he wanted to find the devil-killing summit, he would need to be led by someone from the devil-killing summit, or else don't even think about it. Su Meiyao said. Most of the experts who claim to be from the devil-killing summit have never been to the devil-killing summit, but they did receive the devil-killing summit's inheritance, such as your master, that old lunatic, and his senior and junior sisters. From the route drawn on the map, it seemed like there was a long way to go, almost to the center of Night Devil Hell. Wasn't this the sacred beast's ancient realm? Why did it become the Night Devil Hell? I wonder if the sacred beast's ancient realm is still here, if there are still holy beasts inside. Chen Shang looked at the map. The last destination of the route was a very big valley. Probably not. No one knows what happened back then, but a group of holy beasts disappeared. They probably went to an even higher realm. Then, wouldn't the super old fire beast and ice dragon be the ones? Long Shui said. The resources of the sacred beast's ancient realm have already been used up, so we are unable to produce any more powerful holy beasts. After running for more than 10 days by himself, Chen Shang finally saw a bright light in front of him. He was finally about to leave the crevice, and this was only a small portion of the map's route. This route would allow him to safely enter the depths of the Night Devil Hell. Chapter 1373. Chen Shang stood at the end of the crevice, and this was the crevice of a tall mountain. At this moment, he was halfway up the mountain, and when he looked outside, he could only see a sea of jade green trees, and at the very beginning, a blurry green shadow of a tall mountain. A cool breeze blew, causing him to feel that he was not in the legendary terrifying Night Devil Hell, but instead in the beautiful mountain forest. He raised his head and looked up. There was no such thing as a thick fog. He could see the blue sky and white clouds and the birds flying. No matter how he looked at it, it did not seem like he was in a dangerous hell. I wonder where the road they took will go. Chen Shang had seen the map that the Phoenix Princess gave him. If this place is used as a location to hide treasures, then it would be very good indeed. However, it would also cause the death of many people. Su Meiyao said. Chen Shang looked at the ancient forest below. The trees were all very tall and big, hence he quickly found a huge boulder inside the forest. The boulder was as big as a small mountain, and there was a small hole on the boulder that could only fit one person. He could see the boulder, but it would take him some time to get there, because the boulder was in front of him, and all he could see from there was a small dot. Little naughty dragon, can you see the danger in this forest? Chen Shang used the spirit traveling technique and quickly took a stroll in the forest. Other than the fact that it was relatively cool, there was nothing else out of the ordinary. I didn't sense any danger, but it's hard to say. This is the deepest part of the Night Devil Hell. Long Shui said. Although the place looked peaceful, Chen Shang would never believe that it was safe here. He turned into a bird and carefully flew above the forest. Just as he flew into the forest, his surroundings suddenly darkened, followed by an extremely evil aura. Looking down, he saw a dense cluster of little night devil. These little night devil were very small, only the size of a child. Their entire bodies emitted a faint greenish-black light. What's going on? Chen Shang was overwhelmed with shock. Those little night devils below seemed to be inside a beehive. Each grid had a little night devil on their side. The lush and verdant forest from before had already disappeared. This endless night devil gave Chen Shang goosebumps. This was actually the lair of a night devil, and it was extremely huge. What made him astonished was that these night devil grew very fast. He already knew that the blue sky and beautiful scenery he saw before was fake, but now, this place was completely dark and the lair of the young little night devil was everywhere. However, the gigantic boulder in front of him was real, which made Chen Shang feel more at ease. He was only worried that there might be little night devil inside the cave. What a powerful magic array, even I was fooled by it. This kind of powerful magic array is not something that the night devil can set up, Someone must have done this on purpose, to protect the lair of the night devil. Who exactly is it, and what is it for? Long Shui sank into deep thought. Chen Shang also wanted to know the answer, but no one told him. However, he knew that the devil-killing summit might know something about it. He continued to fly forward, and then he saw many little night devil holding onto an ellipsoid the size of a watermelon. These ellipsoid emitted a faint green light, and were placed into the hexagon by the little night devil. Night devil had the same wings as the bat, and their flying speed was extremely fast. At this moment, they were like diligent bees, carrying a large amount of night devil eggs. Many young little night devils gradually grew up after absorbing the large amount of immortal chi here. Chen Shang could see many young little night devil flying out, and their sizes were much smaller than those of the other little night devils. This was how late period of human immortals little night devil was born. Chen Shang was curious how so many night devil eggs were born. He realized that he was at a place that was deep underground, and this place was like an ant's lair. Large numbers of little night devil were born every second. No wonder there were so many little night devils in the past. If you really thought this place was safe and flew in directly, you would definitely alert these night devil. They might even be hiding the night devil king, and then you would be in deep trouble. Long Shui could not help but feel goosebumps all over his body. This was the lair of the night devil. The route on the map could actually bring people here. Maybe there's more than one lair in night devil, Su Meiyao said. Chen Shang did not release any energy at all, and furthermore, he had hid it well, so when he found out that this was the night devil's lair, he immediately became smaller. While flying, he discovered there were a lot of holes on the surface, which probably led to the ground. Right now, he still had something important on him, so he did not investigate where these night devil eggs came from. After flying slowly for half a day, he finally arrived at the small mountain and entered the mountain cave. At this moment, he heaved a sigh of relief, because Night Devil did not enter the cave. It seemed to be because there was something inside that Night Devil hated. He entered the cave. The cave led downwards, and it was pitch black inside. According to the map, this was the entrance to the second section of the safe route, and this section of the road was not as long as the first section. However, in this underground passage, he felt uncomfortable. It seems that when I was drawing this map, there was already a night devil present, so these safe routes could ingeniously avoid those night devil. Although this is their home, as long as you are careful, you won't encounter any powerful night devil. Even if you were discovered on top of it, you can quickly enter this passage. Long Shui said. Could it be that these night devil already appeared when they were still around? If these night devil had existed for so long, with their amount, they could definitely evolve into a very strong night devil. They might even be existences that surpass the Night Devil King. At this moment, Chen Shang had a deeper understanding of the Night Devil Hell. Originally, it was true that this was the Sacred Beast's ancient realm, but now that the Sacred Beast's ancient realm was no longer here, it was a completely different world altogether. What caused him to feel fear in his heart was that these Night Devils were born for what reason? This was because the Night Devil lair was protected by an extremely powerful illusion formation that even Long Shui could not see through. It only took him 5 days to fly out of the tunnel. This passage led upwards, so after he flew out, he confirmed that the world he saw was real. It was definitely not the realistic illusion he saw before. The thick fog is gone, but it is still shrouded by a layer of death aura. Chen Shang turned into a bird and flew at a low altitude. At this time, he suddenly saw a gigantic silver-white mountain in the distance. There were a lot of green mountains beside the gigantic mountain, which could be considered to be extremely huge. That's the devil-killing summit. Bai Yuyu and Su Meiyao shouted in shock at the same time. Chapter 1374. It's a silver-white mountain. Bai Yuyu muttered to himself, young master has told us this before. He said that if you see this mountain in the night devil hell, you better not think that you can enter the devil-killing summit just because you saw it. If you do that, you won't be far from death. Chen Shang looked carefully at the gigantic mountain. Even though it was very far from him, it still gave off a holy and solemn feeling, and the silver multicolored light that it emitted made people feel fear and reverence towards it. It was the mysterious devil-killing summit, and the people that came out were all people that could cause chaos and slaughter throughout the 9 heavens. However, there had not been a single devil-killing summit ranker in a long time. I really want to go over and take a look, Chen Shang said. Don't go. Going now is equivalent to seeking death, Su Meiyao said in a serious tone. Follow the route on the map and do not deviate from the path you took. The reason you were able to come here safely and even see the devil-killing summit was because of the map. Bai Yu's voice was very cold. Chen Shang immediately dispelled that thought. Right now, he really could not take any risks, but what made him curious was that the devil-killing summit in the distance had always been maintaining a distance from him. Even though he had flown a distance, he still felt that there was no change in the distance between him and the devil-killing summit. Right now, he was flying above a lifeless forest. Although the trees in the forest had lush branches and leaves, they were lifeless, and looked gray and filled with death chi. Chen Shang suspected that it was caused by the night devil lair deep underground. Chen Shang had followed the route on the map, and right now, he was going to the entrance of the third section, so he had to be careful. However, after Chen Shang had flown for half an hour, the sky suddenly darkened and the land became shrouded in darkness. However, the devil-killing summit in the distance was still emitting a silvery white light, which made him look even more holy and solemn. What's going on? Chen Shang felt that something was amiss. He said that it would be dark once it got dark, and it was not covered by the dark clouds, but rather it made people feel like the sun had suddenly set. Time, what power is controlling time, causing this place to suddenly speed up and enter a very wonderful state? Long Shui said in shock. The sky had darkened, and what had annoyed Chen Shang had happened. It was the night devil's howl, and he had no choice but to seal his own ears, or else he would have gone crazy. Something's coming. Hearing Long Shui's reminder, Chen Shang saw a green light shooting towards him. In front of him, a night devil suddenly appeared and shot out a long tongue. Chen Shang immediately dodged, then increased his speed and flew forward, wanting to get rid of Night Devil. It's the Night Devil King. He has his eyes on you. The Night Devil King originally thought that he could easily eat the bird that appeared in the darkness, but who knew that the bird would suddenly dodge and even accelerate its escape? Night Devil King immediately chased after it. He would never let go of the prey that was about to come out of his mouth, even though eating this bird was not beneficial to him at all. Didn't they say that all of the Night Devil Kings have intelligence? Then this guy is just like a stupid pig, chasing after this damned bird. No matter how I look at it, he doesn't seem to be an intelligent guy. He did not want to create unnecessary trouble. This was the territory of the Night Devil, so if he were to create any disturbance, there would be thousands of Night Devil that would appear and become a sea of the Night Devil. After chasing for half an hour, Night Devil King was also furious. It was just a broken little bird, but he had not eaten it even after chasing for so long. The Night Devil King stuck out his long tongue from behind, wanting to entangle Chen Shang with his tongue and then suck him into his mouth. Who knew that Chen Shang would always be able to dodge it? Damn this Night Devil, I can't take it anymore. Chen Zhang's body suddenly flashed with a golden light, revealing his true form. When he had changed into his original form, he released a very strong demon suppression holy light, shining down onto Night Devil King's body in pain, his eyes becoming even more piercing. After Chen Shang changed into his original form, he immediately took out his devil-suppressing mirror and imbued it with a very strong devil-suppressing holy power, taking fierce pictures of the Night Devil King. This kind of Night Devil's body contained an extremely evil power, and the devil-suppressing holy power was extremely destructive towards them. Chen Shang used the light emitted by the devil-suppressing mirror and pierced a few large holes on the Night Devil King's wings, and the skin on his body was burnt so much that black smoke rose out of it. If the devil-suppressing holy power were to land on the bodies of these evil beings, it would be able to purify and melt them. Therefore, all the great powers had to look at the devil-suppressing divine palace before they came here. Night Devil King never would have thought that the bird he was chasing would suddenly turn into a human, and even release that kind of light that he hated the most, catching him by surprise. At least this Night Devil King had the strength of an immortal monarch, but just as he was about to counterattack, he suddenly saw a large golden seal pressing down on him, striking his body in the blink of an eye. Chen Shang released the holy devil-suppressing seal. He wanted to quickly finish off this Night Devil King, and the word, suppress, from the holy devil-suppressing seal ruthlessly hit the Night Devil King's body, making it feel as if the Night Devil King was pressed down by a burning red mountain. If you're not courting death, you won't die. Chen Shang suddenly retracted his holy devil-suppressing seal, took out his green dragon demon-slain broadsword and injected it into the devil-suppressing holy power. From the beginning, the Night Devil King did not even have time to react. Just as he wanted to resist, he was attacked by the demon-suppressing sacred artifact, which destroyed the condensed power in his body. Then, he was struck by the sharp green dragon demon-slain broadsword again. Chen Zhang's move was already at the peak of perfection. To be able to catch him off guard and to be quick and accurate, even the Night Devil King that was much stronger than him would die. After getting rid of the Night Devil King, Chen Shang immediately turned into a bird and quickly flew away. At the same time, a few Night Devil Kings rushed over as well, and there was a large group of them. After he flew away for a while, he sensed a very terrifying evil aura. He guessed that it was the appearance of the Night Devil King, and that aura made him feel that the Night Devil King was much stronger than those immortal kings. This place is dangerous indeed. A Night Devil King appeared so quickly, I wonder how many of these things are inside. Chen Shang exclaimed, he did not want to meet those Night Devil Kings. 2 hours later, he arrived at the third safe route. This was a small river, and this river was very deep. The river water was very cold, and he dove into the river. Chapter 1375. The river was very clean, but it was less lively. Chen Shang suddenly felt that the Night Devil might be afraid of the water, if not the river would not be safe. At night, even if Chen Shang was at the bottom of the river, he would still be able to hear the cries of the Night Devils. This river is very narrow, but it's very deep. It doesn't seem like a normal river. Could it be that someone dug it out on purpose? This kind of river can't grow large beasts, so you don't need to worry about the giant beasts. Long Shui said. Someone who could create such a safe route would definitely understand the sacred beast's ancient realm very well, and his own strength was also very strong. The map had the symbol of the Dan Emperor, and the Dan Emperor was a legendary figure, so his strength was much stronger than the Ice Emperor. Chen Shang followed the flow of the water, feeling that the speed of the water flow was too slow. He swam forward even faster, because he was anxious to unravel the mystery of the map. And the map that Imperial Dragon Clan, Fire Divine Palace and the others had pieced together, what kind of place would it lead to in the end, and what was inside? This road was very long, and according to the map, it was longer than the crevice in the mountain. This meant that Chen Shang would have to spend a lot of time here. I can still see the devil-killing summit. Chen Shang swam for a few days at the bottom of the river and peeked his head out. When he peeked his head out, the silver-white mountain had always been in that direction, as if it was following him around. I don't know what's going on, but it's only been 4 hours in the day and 20 hours in the night. Long Shui said. If it wasn't for the fact that there's a strong power controlling the time, then it's just that there's a powerful formation going against yin and yang, all for the sake of allowing the Night Devils more time to come out and take action. Is this all Night Devil? There's no other beast type here. This was the sacred beast's ancient realm, so even if he wasn't the sacred beast's ancient realm from back then, there should have been some beasts. When he had entered the crevice earlier, he had encountered an extremely terrifying beast tide, and even now, he still couldn't understand why that beast tide would appear. Chen Shang suspected that there might be someone controlling a large group of gigantic beasts to prevent others from entering the depths of sacred beast's ancient realm. Out of the several 100,000 people that the big powers brought, who knew how many were left? In short, there would definitely be some that would die miserably. After all, there were so many of them, and they weren't that strong either. No, even if there were, it would be difficult to discover that the beasts here are most likely facing the threat of the Night Devil, so they rarely come by, and if there are, they should be of the Beast King category, and even if they are, it would be hard to survive if they were to face a few Night Devil Kings. Previously, in the 10,000 Beast Palace, there were a few old Beast Kings who said that they had escaped from this place and that they did not want to return. It seemed that they had endured many cruel tortures in the Night Devil Hell. In the blink of an eye, Chen Shang had already been continuously advancing forward this long river for more than 10 days. What made him curious was that this small river had always had water, and it wasn't stopped at all, and was maintained in a perfect condition for tens of thousands of years, as if someone was specially protecting this river. Along the way, the 3 sections of safe routes were all unobstructed. Thinking back to it now, Chen Shang felt that it was a little strange. Forget it, Chen Shang thought. Ever since Chen Shang had been entangled by the meddling Night Devil King, he would try his best to avoid the Night Devils. Although he was at the bottom of the river, both he and Long Shui could use the spirit traveling technique to observe the situation around them on the surface of the river. Although they had not seen the Night Devil King before, they could always feel the aura of the Night Devil King nearby, so Chen Shang rarely exposed himself at night. Chen Shang advanced under the river for 15 days. Based on his observations of his surroundings, he should be able to quickly enter the 4th safe route. There were a total of 6 sections to the safe route, and he was still half the way to the end of the map. For example, last time, he almost disturbed that Night Devil lair, and there was even a conflict between him and that Night Devil King. But this time, he didn't know what he would encounter, so he had to make preparations to face danger at any time. Soon, he saw a stone at the bottom of the river. This stone had a circular mark on it, indicating that he had to leave this river. The third section of the safe route was over, and he had to turn from here to the fourth section. Chen Shang would only go out during the day, and that way he would not meet the Night Devil. He had already determined that even the very powerful Night Devil King would not dare to appear during the day. Although there were no Night Devils in the day, this place wasn't absolutely safe. In order to avoid becoming's target, he became a small flying insect and flew towards the entrance of the fourth safe route. In Chen Zhang's opinion, the fourth section of the safe route was not very safe, because it was neither a crack nor a water route. Instead, it was a muddy road in a forest. To reach the forest, he would have to cross a large river and 2 tall mountains. Normally, this would not mean much to him, but here, it was extremely difficult. Let's hurry up. Although I don't know if the forest is safe or not, it should be a safe route. There shouldn't be any problems. Long Shui urged. She wanted Chen Shang to return to his human form, since that would be faster. In here, he only had 4 hours in the day, so Chen Shang had to hurry back and step onto the safe route, otherwise, if he were to meet those Night Devils, it would be a headache for him. He turned back into his human form and stepped onto the shrinking step on the ground. With extreme speed, he traveled through the forest and quickly saw the large river in front of him. The surface of the river was extremely calm as the river slowly flowed. On the surface, it seemed as if there was no danger, but the clear water of the river was abnormally quiet. Very quickly, he arrived in the middle of the river. Lowering his head to take a look, he immediately sucked in a breath of cold air, because he saw that there were 2 gigantic underwater shadows on the surface of the river. From the size of the shadows, it seemed like they were water beasts. Not only are they large in size, they are also very powerful. I wonder how many years they have lived here. Let's quickly distance themselves from this river. Long Shui said. Chen Shang swallowed his saliva, increased his speed and flew in the air, trying his best to avoid too much noise. He was afraid that he would alarm the gigantic beast hiding in the river. However, in the water, they can avoid being attacked by Night Devil. Those Night Devil are afraid of the water and the fire. The next time we go against them, we can use water to test how powerful they are. Chen Shang was still in the air above the big river, but he could no longer see the 2 gigantic water phantoms. Just as he heaved a sigh of relief, the surface of the river suddenly fluctuated. Chapter 1376. Have they been discovered? Chen Shang was terrified. He immediately turned into a small bird and quickly flew towards the shore. The surface of the river was rough, and huge wolves were rolling in the waves. Crash a euro. He only saw a huge black shadow coming out from the river, and jumped into the air in a moment, because this thing was too huge, like a huge towering mountain floating in the sky, and Chen Shang was right below it, unable to see what it was. He could only see a black object with scales on it. What is this thing? Why is it so big? Chen Shang asked Long Shui in shock. It seems to be a euro, Zanwu beast. Long Shui was also shocked. It was her first time seeing such a huge thing with her own eyes. This enormous creature in the air was like a heavenly part of the universe. Chen Shang had seen the white tiger before. It was normal for the black tortoise to appear in front of him. It was just that he did not expect to meet them here in the Night Devil Hell, and there were even 2 of them. Before Chen Shang could even clearly see Black Turtle's appearance, he was blown to the shore by a strong gust of wind. When he turned his head to look at the sky above the river, Black Turtle's gigantic body had already disappeared. He didn't find you. He found another guy. Long Shui immediately said. Look over there, the Xuanwu beast has turned into its benevolent form and is fighting with that guy. Is this black tortoise a saint beast? What is it? Chen Zhang's pupils contracted as he looked at the distant bursts of intense light flashing in the sky. I don't know. In short, that guy has a strong evil force on him. He might be a very powerful night devil, one that can appear during the day. This was only Long Shui's guess, but after Chen Shang felt the qi that was transmitted here, he had the same thought. That kind of evil qi was indeed very similar to the night devil. Night devil could only appear at night, and those who appeared during the day were definitely very strong. Those who were not afraid of sunlight were existences that surpassed the night devil king. Chen Shang did not dare stay here for long. There were still black tortoises in the night devil hell, and one that surpassed the strength of the immortal king. He only wanted to hurry to the location marked on the map, and take everything he could take, then quickly leave this place. It seems like the daytime is also very dangerous. If that black tortoise had come to deal with him, his fate would have been very worrisome. HMPH, why are those fellows from Dragon Emperor still so arrogant? If they were to come here, it would be difficult for them to deal with those two Xuanwu beasts. Furthermore, that night devil is also very strong. I wonder how many of those things are here. Seeing the black tortoise beast and the powerful night devil, she had a deeper understanding of this night devil hell. When Su Meiyao and Bai Yu were very young, they had heard many things about this night devil hell. They had always believed that this night devil hell was powerful, but they no longer doubted that it was so terrifying. Night devil, black tortoise, devil killing summit euro. How many other powerful existences are there that we do not know about? It seems like there are powers fighting amongst them. Long Shui sighed. It's better to leave this place as soon as possible. Maybe after we go out, Dragon Emperor and the others will all be gone. Taking those 3 strong guys that Chen Shang just met, even if Dragon Emperor and the rest came, they would probably only be able to escape. If we were to fight with the 9 emperors and 5 venerables, would we have any hope of defeating that black tortoise? Chen Shang asked. I do not know the specific strength of the 9 emperors and 5 venerables, but if one of their Dan Emperors can enter here, and even make a path for us, he should be very strong, and should be able to fight those strong fellows from before to a draw. Long Shui thought about it and replied. Chen Shang quickly went over 2 mountains. In front of him was the forest, which was filled with ancient trees. The lush branches and leaves were green and full of vitality. It was unlike the forests that were filled with death energy, and this made him feel that he was in a more normal place. When he was about to step into the forest, a white silhouette suddenly flashed past his eyes. In the broad daylight, when he saw this, he couldn't help but shiver because the white figure's speed was extremely fast. Furthermore, neither he nor Long Shui noticed it. Hello. Chen Shang, who was in a daze, was suddenly patted on the shoulder, and even heard someone greeting him, made his entire body tremble violently, and suddenly break out in a cold sweat. In this sort of place, the things he was most afraid of were people who were neither human nor ghost. Furthermore, they were extremely strong and could even speak. Chen Shang planned to charge forward into the forest without looking back. That was a safe route. Just as he took 2 steps forward, he felt a strong hand grab his wrist. He turned around and saw a 10-foot-tall, sturdy middle-aged man standing behind him. This middle-aged man was dressed in white, with a head of long and messy white hair, along with some dried-up leaves. From the looks of him, it seemed as if he had just rolled on the ground. What are you running for? Do I look that scary? Besides, why are you running before you even see me? As the middle-aged man spoke, he used his hand to tidy up his messy white hair. He was scary not because he was ugly, but because his face looked fierce, as if he wanted to chop someone into pieces, the kind that killed pigs without even blinking an eye. Are you human or a ghost? Chen Shang took a deep breath, and calmed himself down a little. He did not feel any life force from this person, let alone any energy aura. Of course I'm human. Do you want to enter this forest? The big, white-haired man suddenly became serious. He looked at the huge forest and a trace of fear and sadness suddenly appeared in his eyes. He let go of Chen Shang, but Chen Shang did not run. He knew that it would be hard for him to run. The middle-aged man was definitely strong. When he grabbed him, Chen Shang had already noticed it. Yes, is there a problem? Chen Shang replied vigilantly. The white-haired man frowned as he spoke in an extremely serious tone. Don't go. As long as you step into this forest, it will be very hard for you to get out. Why? Chen Shang found it hard to understand, because it was a safe route indicated on the map. He believed that there was no mistake, because when he came here previously, he took the 3 sections of safe route which allowed him to be very safe. The white-haired middle-aged man seemed to know a lot of things. He immediately took out a map and spread it on the ground. Your map should be the same as this one, the 4th section is ahead. When Chen Shang saw it, his heart jumped. The map was exactly the same as his. Could the 4th section be unsafe? Chen Shang looked at the map, then looked at the ancient forest. It's not safe. No one who goes in will be able to come out. My wife was too anxious and did not come back after going in. I was lucky and found something wrong when I went in, so I could leave immediately. The white-haired middle-aged man said dejectedly. Didn't you go in with her? You didn't stop her. Chen Shang did not believe what the middle-aged man said. We're a group of people. We'll split into groups, and I'll be in the group behind her. There's a total of 15 of us, and in the end, only I am still here. 300,000 years have passed, and they still haven't come out. The white-haired middle-aged man sighed. 300,000 years. The corner of Chen Zhang's eyes twitched. For someone to be able to live for such a long time, he must be very strong. Senior, then do you know about the matter of the devil-killing summit? That silver-white mountain a euro, and what exactly are those night devils here for? Seeing that the white-haired middle-aged man was easy to talk to, Chen Shang immediately spoke out the question that had been in his mind for a long time. This is very complicated and cannot be explained with a few words. In short, if you still want to live, don't enter that forest. Since ancient times, many experts have entered and never came out. The white-haired middle-aged man warned Chen Shang. However, the reason why I'm here is precisely for that place. This is the goal that I've worked towards for many years. I cannot give up halfway. Chen Shang said. The reason he came here was to go to the point indicated on the map. Take out your map. I want to see who drew it. Even though it's about the same, we can still tell who drew it. The white-haired middle-aged man stretched out his hand and said. Chen Shang took out a copy of the paper map. Because the original map was marked with the Dan Emperor, he wanted to test this middle-aged man. Senior, you were very famous back then, right? I wonder what your name is. Chen Shang asked softly. Maybe Su Meiyao and Bai Yuyu had heard of it before. The white-haired middle-aged man frowned as he looked at the map, and said, My name is Bai Shanyu. Have you heard of it? Chen Shang asked Bai Yuyu and Su Meiyao. Of course I've heard, it should be him. His character is very good, and he's fought against my master several times. He's a righteous person, but he disappeared many years ago. I didn't expect him to come here. Bai Yuyu said in shock. Chen Shang told himself at this time, that he had to hide his strength as much as possible. If this Bai Shanyu found out that he understood devil arts, she would definitely exterminate him. Bai Yuyu's master was an old devil, so it was normal for him to be chased down by this Bai Shanyu. A person on par with the heartless old devil must be very strong. Moreover, so many years have passed. No wonder he was able to live in this place for so long. He must be very strong. It was painted by the Dan Emperor. Haha, a euro, I didn't expect him to leave behind a map. He went to that damned place himself and hasn't been seen since. The Bai Shanyu laughed. Chen Shang was secretly shocked. The Bai Shan Yue was truly amazing. Just by looking at the overturned map, he could already tell who drew the map. Senior Yu, the destination the map pointed to. What exactly is hidden there? Why are there so many experts desperately searching for it? Chen Shang asked. His other purpose for coming here was to find the beast-slain method. To search for the beast-slain method. This was the sacred beast's ancient realm back then, and the reason why a large number of holy beasts were born was because the god-slain method was carved on a gigantic cliff. The Taiji dragon suppressed Kung Fu, the four-phase magic Kung Fu, the Taiji magic Kung Fu a euro wait, most of these were written according to the beast-slain method, so many people do not care about their lives as they ran over. The Bai Shanyu said. When Chen Shang heard it, his heart instantly felt a chill, because he knew that it would be extremely difficult to obtain the beast-slain method. Chapter 1377. Right now, Chen Shang was facing a difficult decision, whether to walk into the forest or turn around and leave. Entering the forest, he might not be able to get out, because Bai Shanyu, this antique had a few strong teammates who had gone in and did not come out. Furthermore, he had waited here for hundreds of thousands of years. Even an expert like Bai Shan Yue was unable to deal with the danger inside, let alone him. However, if he did not enter, he would not be able to obtain the beast-slain method and this trip would be a waste. Moreover, he felt that there might be a divine cauldron's lid that was not only contained within. Even the Dan Emperor did not come out, and this Bai Shanyu is so much weaker than him. What kind of danger is hidden inside? Chen Shang frowned as he thought. Perhaps you can come out. Although you are weaker than those guys, you are different from them. Moreover, you already have some heaven-earth killing method, so perhaps the things you have on you can allow you to go to that place unhindered. Long Shui said. She was also not willing to have Chen Shang give up here, and come here just because she couldn't wait. She didn't want to come here again after coming to this kind of place once. Young man, you need to go in. Seeing Chen Shang considering, the Bai Shanyu did not think that Chen Shang would still have the intention to enter. Of course, I came here for this, although I only found out now that there is a beast-slain method inside. Chen Shang said as he held the map. Chen Shang had already made his decision. If he wanted to go in, he would need to take on a certain amount of risk in order to reap any rewards. A violent wave of air suddenly attacked from afar. Bai Shanyu lightly waved his hand and opened it up. This was the battle between the Black Tortoise and a powerful Night Devil. Chen Shang had seen the Black Tortoise before. Chen Shang realized that the violent shock wave did not cause any damage to the ancient forest in front of him. It could be seen that the ancient forest was protected by a mysterious power. If you want to go in, I won't stop you. I hope you can come out. Take care. The Bai Shanyu seemed to be accustomed to this kind of situation, which made Chen Shang unable to help but think that the Bai Shanyu had been here for many years, preventing people from entering the forest. However, many people did not listen to him. Yes, I will do my best to find the people inside who are still alive. Chen Shang cupped his fist at the Bai Shanyu, then turned and ran into the ancient forest. Just as Chen Shang entered the ancient forest, the sky suddenly darkened, and Night Devil flew everywhere. However, they did not dare approach the ancient forest, nor did they dare approach Bai Shanyu. Not long after Chen Shang entered the ancient forest, he heard the Night Devils shout from outside. He had already gotten used to it after so many days, and he predicted that it would be dark soon after he entered. Not long after he heard the cries of the Night Devil, something surprising happened. The Night Devil's voice suddenly became softer and softer, and as he continued to speak, the Night Devil's voice gradually disappeared, making him wonder if he had heard wrongly. What's going on? Chen Shang immediately used spirit traveling technique. He wanted to see if there were any Night Devil flying in the sky, but who knew that his divine soul was unable to fly out. This ancient forest is truly strange. My divine strength is unable to fly out of this forest, and I can feel that this forest seems to be rotating. Long Shui said. Chen Shang immediately turned around, wanting to leave the ancient forest. But no matter how he turned around, he didn't change his direction. In order to identify if he had gone in the wrong direction, he had even placed a spiritual crystal on the ground, and then turned around. But no matter how he turned, that spiritual crystal was still in front of him, on the ground. What was even stranger was that when he was walking backwards, he was actually moving forward. It made people feel like the entire ground was rolling. Now, he had no way out, and could only move forward. Am I inside a formation? If it's a formation, then I can break it open. Chen Shang was very calm at the moment. He continued to walk forward, but he was extremely vigilant, because what the Bai Shanyu said was true, and the safe route was not safe here. Now, he began to admire the Bai Shanyu, and if the Bai Shanyu still managed to escape under such circumstances, it would be impossible for him to do it now. Originally, the forest was pitch black, but after he couldn't hear the Night Devil's cries, light gradually shined in this place. He felt that the days and nights in this forest had already returned to normal. Am I in an illusion? These things are all very real. Chen Shang passed by a tree and touched it with his hand. He pinched his fingernails, causing some sap to come out from the tree trunk. Everything in this forest is real. Long Shui said with certainty, because Chen Shang had broken off a few tree branches and placed them into the ring. If it was an illusion, those tree branches and ring would not exist, and would disappear the moment they entered the ring. However, Long Shui and the other two girls in the ring were able to touch very real leaves. Su Meiyao had also analyzed the age of the big tree and found out that it had actually existed for 1,000,000 years, because the life force contained in the sap had been in it for a long time. There shouldn't be any danger in here, otherwise these trees wouldn't have existed for such a long time. Su Meiyao said. If a battle had broken out, then this entire forest would have been destroyed long ago. But now, this place had survived for 1,000,000 years, or even longer. From then on, it could be seen that there were very few battles occurring within the forest. However, Chen Shang still had to be vigilant, because if he encountered anything, he could only move forward. He walked very slowly. After about 2 hours, he suddenly saw a pile of white bones under a tree that was even larger than the surrounding area. Even during the daytime, the snow-white bone still emitted a faint white glow. When one walked in, they would feel as if this bone was naturally formed from white jade. This guy's body must be very strong. I didn't expect him to die here. Long Shui said. The bones that have turned into white jade are evolving into the shape of a jade dragon. Oh, is my bones the same now? Although Chen Shang could see his own body from the inside, he couldn't see the specific appearance of his own bones. It's far away. Your current bones are at most stronger, but if you encounter a divine weapon, you can still break it. However, this jade bone in front of you is very difficult to break. Try it if you don't believe me. Long Shui said. The person who died here was very strong, and might even be Bai Shan Yue's friend. However, Chen Shang was sure that this was a man, because his bones were thicker, he could tell at a glance. Although it was disrespectful towards the dead, Chen Shang only wanted to try his fingers. He took out the green dragon demon slain broadsword and its bones and placed them on top of the hammer, then used the green dragon demon slain broadsword to cut down on it. He felt that even if it was a material for refining holy level, it would still break after being chopped like that. After a series of tremors rang out, Chen Shang was shocked in his heart, because that tiny fingerbone was not cut at all. Chapter 1378. As long as the soul was still there was still a chance for him to be revived. But right now, in the situation that Chen Shang was in, his bones could actually not be destroyed, but he did not know how he managed to cultivate it. This is the strongest human skeleton I've ever seen. Maybe even those 9 emperors and 5 venerables back then weren't as strong as this guy's bones. I never thought that he would actually die here. Long Shui exclaimed. I'm already a body of heavenly sage, is this still not strong enough? Chen Shang felt that his body could already be considered a very strong existence among humans, but there was still someone who was thousands of times stronger than him. The body of heavenly sage is very strong, what do you think about comparing it with this jade bone? Long Shui asked. Comparing my ass, I can't even break a divine weapon, this guy can't even be considered a human. Only now did Chen Shang feel that this sacred beast's ancient realm was so terrifying. If even a person with such a strong body would die here, what about him? The owner of this skeleton could very well be the Dan Emperor. Bai Yu suddenly said. In the 9 emperors and 5 venerables, the Dan Emperor alone occupied 2 spots. The Pill Elder and Dan Yanjing were him, and many people did not know about them at the time. This showed just how terrifying his strength was. Is there any evidence? Chen Shang asked. You should be very clear that you used flames to temper your own body. In the past, you often used them to temper your own body, and during that era, only a few people had such a strong flame. Fire Emperor, Dan Emperor, and Divine Craftsman were one of them, and Bai Shanyu said that the Dan Emperor came here and never went out. Although Bai Shanyu and his group are very strong, they are nothing in front of Dan Emperor. Dan Emperor is an existence close to God, and only his fleshly body is close to the divine body realm. Right now, he is only at the holy bone stage. Bai Yu explained. He died without any power, but even the divine weapons were unable to cut through his bones. When he was still alive, he was indeed very powerful. Chen Shang had the vermilion bird skeleton, but the bones of a holy beast like the vermilion bird weren't that strong. But, Dan Emperor is so powerful, how could he possibly die? Chen Shang was in disbelief. Even Fire Yanjing was still alive, and if the Ice Emperor wasn't killed by him, he would still be half dead. However, this Dan Emperor only had 1 set of bones. He didn't die, he just gave up his physical body, and his divine soul left his physical body. He used other methods to leave this place. Su Meiyao said. It should be like this, he is a Dan Emperor and it is impossible for him to die of old age. Furthermore, he has such a powerful physique, there is nothing that can harm him. There was no wound on the white bone at all. Chen Shang dug a hole in the ground, buried the white bone well, and then continued on his way. Even if he turned his head back now, he would not be able to see the road he had taken just now. He felt that the space he was in was the same as time, he couldn't retreat. Better than time, he could walk left and right, but to do that with Crab, he had to run faster or stay where he was. If that's really the Dan Emperor, I wonder what he got from this place. After he left this place, where did he go? Chen Shang said. I don't know, maybe he went to a higher realm, or continued to muddle through the 9 heavens. If he could cultivate out a stronger physical body, he would be able to rule over the heaven realm, which is just like a small fry in front of him. He is a true great emperor of his generation. Long Shui said. Chen Shang took out the map, and looked at it carefully. This forest was very big, and it was also surrounded by a large mountain. Walking out of the forest, one would be able to arrive at a desert. And above the desert, there was a very large river. There was also a passageway at the bottom of the river, and that was the 5th section of the safe route. Chen Shang didn't know whether he could leave this forest or not, because the Bai Shanyu had said before that none of the people that entered were able to leave. Bai Shanyu had only discovered the danger and immediately escaped as fast as he could. At least for now, I'm safe. According to the clues I've obtained, my greatest danger is being trapped here. Chen Shang kept the map and rushed forward without a worry. If that white bone is really the Dan Emperor, then that guy is too strong, he should have already reached the final destination. According to the special space in this place, it's very hard for him to walk any further, but he's still there, and I don't know how he did it. If he continues to work hard, he might even be able to walk out. The place where the bones were found was very close to the outside. It's hard to say. Perhaps every step he takes will take him a year or 10 years, and the strength he needs may be very strong as well. He may not be able to last any longer, and sometimes he just has to endure for a moment. Chen Shang felt that in the future, when he met Dan Emperor, he would definitely ask him how he felt at that time. 2 days had passed and Chen Shang was still in the forest. He had not encountered any danger along the way, but just when he was starting to relax, he suddenly felt that something was wrong. The trees he passed by earlier were all full of life, but the large area in front of him had all lost its leaves. The trees were all bald and withered, and the hot sunlight was not blocked by the dense foliage, instead, it was shining directly on the ground. Weird, almost all the trees in front died, and this happened only recently. Long Shui said. If this had happened a long time ago, these ancient trees would have already rotted in the endless water moon. As soon as Chen Shang stepped into the withering woods, his face immediately changed. What's wrong? Long Shui asked anxiously. Hurry up and give me a longevity fruit. It will lose your life force here. Chen Shang said. Fortunately, Chen Shang had prepared a few longevity fruit in the serene jade ring. Furthermore, with his current cultivation, these longevity fruit could help him extend his life for a very long time. After he ate the longevity fruit, his expression became much warmer. Staying here for 1 day would take at least 1 year of lifespan. If there were no longevity fruit, and I was trapped here for a long time, I would die of old age before long. Is it because of the passage of time? Or is it because of some other reason? Long Shui asked. There is a force that is devouring my life force, not the passage of time. In short, I cannot stay here for too long. I wonder if the road ahead will continue like this forever. Chen Zhang's face became gloomy, because the safe route was no longer safe. Although there was no way back before, at least it was safe, and no life-threatening events occurred, but now something strange happened. Seems like the person who created this safe route has powerful strength. It might even be the 10 Heavens Supreme Lord. Long Shui said. The beast-slain method is extremely important for the entire beastman race. Back then, it was precisely because of the beast-slain method that the beastmen had so many holy beasts. But why does the 10 Heavens Supreme Lord have to protect the beast-slain method like this? Can't they just destroy the cliff directly? Long Shui was extremely confused. We'll have to wait for Old Man Duan to find more information before we can find out. Something must have happened that year, so this sacred beast's ancient realm became a night devil hell. Chen Shang sighed. This was something he had always wanted to know. Chen Shang rushed there overnight, and after a total of 20 days, he finally left the forest and stepped into the desert on the map. He prepared to take the 5th safe route, but he was still unable to go any further when he arrived at the desert. The 5th safe route was under the bottom of a large river. He followed the map and found the large river in the desert, but it was already dried up. Before, there was a large river outside the forest. That river was much smaller than this one, but it did not dry up. Furthermore, there were 2 huge Xuanwu beasts. This made Chen Shang unable to understand. This desert was extremely hot, without any immortal qi. He felt that something was devouring the energy in this area. Although it has dried up, we still have to follow that safe route to avoid any accidents. When Chen Shang arrived at the bottom of the river, if he were to look down at the river from a high vantage point, this large river would definitely seem like a huge crevice in the ground. At the bottom of the dried-up river, a ditch could clearly be seen. This ditch was the safe way. It was as deep as 3 people, and now that Chen Shang was running inside, if there was water, this ditch would probably be safer, just like the river before. This was the 5th section of the safe route. After passing through this desert, they would reach a mountain. At the bottom of the mountain, there was a very long tunnel that led to a huge valley. Ever since he entered the area with no way of turning back, he had never seen those little night devils, not even his voice could be heard. However, he still felt irritated because this place was like a land of death, and there was no way of turning back yet. There's nothing here. This river should be the biggest one here, right? Some of the skeletons of aquatic beasts are fine as well. Chen Shang was running frantically under that ditch. This dried-up river was empty. He did not find any water beasts that were as big as the black tortoise. Do you think all the beasts have jade bones? Corpses and corpses have all been destroyed after tens of thousands of years. Long Shui said. Chen Shang sighed in his heart. Right now, the only hope he had of getting out was to go to the end point and find the beast slain method. I wonder if my friends from Bai Shan Yu and his wife will still be alive. Maybe I'll be able to meet them. Chen Shang said. It's hard to say. Even if they're alive, they're probably at the very back of the group. If you don't go back, it would be very hard for you to meet them here. Long Shui asked. In this desert, is your lifespan still being devoured? Bai Yu asked. I can probably devour you even more in one day, but fortunately, I have longevity fruit. Chen Shang said. Chapter 1379. At night, Chen Shang madly ran in the ravine as he raised his head to look at the stars in the night sky. There were normal sun, moon and stars here, but the space was so strange. Could it be that Night Devil has never been here before? Those Night Devil are all full of pig brains, this place should be filled with Night Devil. Chen Shang suddenly became suspicious, he did not see Night Devil's corpse at all along the way. It's indeed strange, those Night Devils should have hidden in here, could it be because Bai Shan Yu has been guarding that place for so many years? Su Meiyao also felt that it was strange. It was night now, and also when the Night Devil appeared. This place could be considered as inside the Night Devil hell, and it was rather close to the center, but the noisy Night Devil noises could not reach here. However, the silence here made people feel some fear. In this silent and lifeless place, they always felt that they were in a place filled with lost souls. Is there something I can't see here? When Chen Shang thought of this, he immediately felt goosebumps. Impossible, my divine soul is so strong, even with something that I can't see around me, I can still sense it. Although Long Shui said this, Chen Shang still opened the eye of primal chaos above his forehead. The moment he opened the eye of primal chaos, he inhaled a deep breath of cold air, which greatly surprised Long Shui, and anxiously asked, "What do you see? Are there really many things that you can't see?" "Some. I don't know how to describe it, but there are a few blurry people floating around with blood all over their bodies. All of the immortal chi in this piece of land was absorbed by this thing, so I don't know what they are." Chen Shang said. "How many?" Bai Yu asked in a low voice. She seemed to know something. "There are a lot of them. They are all so dense that they can easily penetrate my body. I think my life force should have been absorbed by these people who are neither human nor ghost." Chen Shang withdrew the eye of primal chaos, because those things were truly too frightening. It should be the vengeful spirit. Most of these fellows that you saw had ferocious looks on their faces. They looked like they were at the last moment before their deaths. Bai Yu said. They are indeed very much like those who are about to die, but they don't have any grievances on them, and Shui can't feel them either. Chen Shang was very suspicious of this matter. He could even sense the remaining remnant souls after death. If he did not use the Chaos Divine Eye, he would not be able to see those things. This type of soul resentment is different. The soul power of these vengeful souls has been extracted, leaving behind only an empty shell. Some extremely weak resentments formed an image that only those with special abilities would be able to see. I don't know why there is such a strange phenomenon. In short, this is probably the case as well. The power here will be crazily devoured, and it is also the result of these vengeful spirits, because there are too many vengeful spirits here. Sister Yu, what is the use of these vengeful spirits? I feel like a large number of them are sealed here. Chen Shang asked. Maybe it was brought in when the Ten Heavens Supreme Lord was killed that year. I heard that many people died at that time. I'm not sure what use it has, but someone did indeed intentionally seal a large number of vengeful spirits here. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been so dense. Bai Yu said. Now Chen Shang finally understood why his lifespan was being devoured. It was because he had too many of these invisible vengeful spirits by his side. Could it be related to those Night Devils, and maybe these things are used to create those Night Devils? If you want to create a life form, you must first have a large number of souls. All kinds of medicinal herbs have spirits, but they are very weak. If the spirits of the flowers, plants and trees are strong, they can also turn into benevolence and benevolence. Long Shui said. It's very possible that someone extracted the spirit and left these useless and uncontrollable vengeful spirits here. Right now, those Night Devils are still appearing non-stop. Where did they get such a large amount of souls? Could it be that there's a very powerful formation here, and how to gather those floating souls? Bai Yu frowned. She also felt that this must be related to the Night Devils. Chen Shang also didn't want to open his chaotic eyes again. Looking at that kind of thing would only make him even more unhappy. It was daybreak. Under Long Shui's urging, Chen Shang opened his eyes once again, but this time, he did not see any of the tormented souls. He's gone, Chen Shang said in shock. Indeed, vengeful spirits only have malicious intents. They fear the scorching sun. Although those vengeful souls do not have their own consciousness, they can instinctively avoid the scorching sun. Bai Yu said. Doesn't that mean he's the same as the night devil? A thought flashed in Chen Zhang's mind. Those night devils that howl at night might have actually vented the anger in their hearts, as well as the unwillingness to die. Bai Yu said in a serious tone. Clearly someone intentionally created a large number of night devils. I don't know how he did it, but in short, this is not a good thing. The guy who created a large number of night devils also had ill intentions, because over the years, in this large group of night devils, he has already evolved and produced a very powerful night devil. Only knew about the existence of this thing, but had never seen it before. He felt that there must definitely be more than one night devil that did not fear the sunlight. Looks like this batch of night devil are also very powerful existences in this heaven realm. If they were to be controlled one day, then wouldn't it mean that the heavens would change? Chen Shang could not help but think that when night fell, thousands and thousands of night devils would suddenly cover the sky, and like a sudden rain, they would swoop down and attack the life forms above the 9 heavens. Chen Shang also floated in the air at this time, arriving on the ground. This was still a desert, but he could see that in the direction of the sun, there was a large stone mountain. As long as they passed through that stone mountain, they would be able to reach their destination. As long as we pass this mountain, we'll be almost there. Chen Shang ran towards the stone mountain. What he was more worried about right now was how to leave this place, because he had no way of retreating right now, and could not turn back. The moment he stepped into the group of mountains, he felt the ground shake violently, as if something had been disturbed by him the moment he entered this place. Did you find anything? Chen Shang stood in place without moving because he felt that wave of trembling was due to his appearance. Chapter 1380. It was right for Chen Shang to stand there without moving, because he suddenly sensed that a barrier had appeared in front of him. It was difficult for him to see it with his naked eyes, but he could sense it, and he did not know what the consequences would be if he stepped into the barrier. What he could do now was to bypass this barrier and continue towards his destination. Although he couldn't walk forward, he could move left and right to avoid the barrier. However, just as he took a few steps forward, the ground suddenly shook again. Soon after, he saw a figure flying over from the distance and stopped on top of a small stone mountain. There was actually someone inside, which surprised Chen Shang quite a bit. If that person was a bit stronger, he wouldn't be so surprised, because it was very likely that he was a friend of the Bai Shanyu, and the person currently standing on top of the small mountain was a handsome young man in white with a delicate face. His strength was about the same as the late period of human immortal, so he didn't know how to restrain himself at all. After entering that spirit formation, we can retreat. Chen Shang thought, because the man was able to fly towards him, it was obvious that he was not affected by the strange spatial laws. The young man just stood on top of the small mountain and looked at Chen Shang with wide eyes, not saying a word. However, just as he was about to enter the barrier, the white-clothed youth who was standing on top of the small mountain suddenly shouted out and waved his hand to release a ray of light. Upon closer inspection, it was a good quality immortal sword, probably because the middle-grade immortal sword had been injected with a strong force that carried a sharp killing intent, flying straight towards Chen Shang in anger, because he did not do anything at all, and under the pain of the person, he shouted loudly, and did not dodge at all as he grabbed the tip of the sword, causing the sword to stop. Chen Shang shouted angrily. The killing intent from the white tiger gloves on his hands immediately surged out, filling his arms with power, adding the anger in his heart. He used a huge amount of power to forcefully break the middle-grade immortal sword. The white tiger gloves could be considered a godly weapon. In his hands, the middle-grade immortal sword was no different from an ordinary weapon. With just a few movements, it was easily crushed. The white-robed young man was equally infuriated when he saw his beloved immortal sword destroyed. He didn't expect this person to be so powerful. This is a holy land, and we've been here for many years to protect this place from outsiders. Anyone who dares to step foot into this place will die. The white-clothed youth knew that he was not Chen Zhang's match and did not dare to walk forward, because Chen Shang had also not entered the barrier. Chen Shang asked, if this was really someone else's territory, he really couldn't go in. No, we are human. This used to be the sacred land of the beast race, but now that they have left, it belongs to us. Outsiders are not allowed to enter. Although he had a calm expression, Chen Shang could already see a hint of fear in his eyes. The white-clothed youth had clearly been frightened by the move he had revealed just now. Chen Shang glanced at the white-clothed youth, then walked around the barrier. As long as he did not step inside, there would be no conflicts of interest. Right now, that sacred ground had already been taken by someone, and after many years, the people inside should all be very strong. Chen Shang used the Heaven Tour, wanting to enter the barrier to check out the strength of the group inside. However, he was stopped by the barrier. He knew that if he stepped inside, he would not be able to come out, because there was no way out from the barrier. Han Chen, what happened? As soon as they heard the delicate shout from afar, a woman dressed in a simple blue dress floated over. She had a gentle smile on her face as she gracefully landed behind the young man, bewitching him with her movements. When Han Chen saw the lady, his originally stern face immediately revealed a smile, but his voice was still serious. Chen Xiang, there is a foreign person there. He destroyed my immortal sword just now. He is very powerful. Go back and report it to the clan elders, get them to send the immortal monarch over. Mu Chen Xiang looked at Chen Shang, and Chen Shang also looked at her, with a slight smile on his face. Right now, Chen Shang was using his own appearance. Although he was not a very handsome man, at least if a woman saw him, she would not hate him so much. Although the two were separated by a long distance, they could still clearly see each other. Mu Chen Xiang could already tell that Chen Shang was only at the middle stage of the worldly immortal stage, but when she saw Chen Zhang's eyes that were as deep as the sea, she almost lost her mind. Mu Chen Xiang immediately frowned and closed her eyes. This woman actually knows some kind of mind-reading sacred art. She wanted to see through your thoughts, but I didn't expect you to backfire on her. Long Shui laughed. You almost made her lose her mind. If it got serious, she would become a fool. Fortunately, I've trained in the soul-absorbing devil spell. Using such a move against this woman is simply courting death. Chen Shang laughed. This person shouldn't have any malicious intentions. Can't we just let him in? At night, it will be very dangerous outside. I wonder how he got here. Mu Chen Xiang said in a low voice, and then glanced at Chen Shang. Right now, she didn't dare to look at him too much. We can't let him in, this is a rule. Han Chen's face was stern. He said angrily, I actually hope that guy comes in, so that I can kill him, and actually destroy my immortal sword. After Chen Shang, who was moving around the barrier, heard this, he shouted, you use the immortal sword to attack me first. At that time, I also hoped that you would come over. Who asked you to step into the spirit formation? Han Chen roared. Can't you give me a warning from the distance that you have to use such a barbaric method? I haven't entered the barrier yet, so with my strength, once I enter, I can immediately slaughter both of you. However, I'm not as unreasonable as you. Chen Shang replied indifferently. In Chen Zhang's eyes, Han Chen was just a wet behind the ears brat. Furthermore, he would get angry easily. Chen Shang secretly praised him for having such good self-control. Compared to him, Han Chen was indeed much worse. Do you want to walk around the spirit formation? It's impossible for you to pass through it. The area that the spirit formation covers is very big and it spans almost the entire region. Mu Chen Xiang shouted. Chen Xiang, go and call the elders over. This person destroyed my immortal sword, we cannot let him go like this. Han Chen was a little angry, and spoke in a much louder voice to Mu Chen Xiang. What's the use of an elder coming? Who dares to walk out of the spirit formation? It's not like he's going to come in. If you want to deal with him, at least let him in. Mu Chen Xiang snorted, as he was filled with discontent. Chen Shang did not walk forward but chose to sit down instead. He smiled and said, it seems like even if you all let me in, I won't enter anymore, in case I get killed. I'll instead wait here for your elders to come and see how they deal with me. Chen Shang felt that the two young men and women in front of him must have grown up in this sacred ground. Furthermore, their knowledge of the outside world must be different from those in the heaven realm. Right now, her eyes were flickering, and they were filled with endless desire to learn. They could tell that she really desired the outside world, and that was why she was able to use the mind reading, or even the ability to search for the memories of other people to deal with Chen Shang. It was only that her desire was broken. Hurry up and go, Han Chen shouted, I can't leave this place, in case he sneaks in. Chen Shang did indeed have such plans. He planned to wait until night before sneaking in. Why don't you go? I'll just watch over him from here. I'm stronger than you, and my celestial sword wasn't destroyed. Mu Chenxiang said somewhat angrily, her beautiful face no longer had the gentle smile from before. Chenxiang, you're not young anymore. Furthermore, we will be holding a marriage ceremony soon. At that time, you will be marrying and having children. Why are you still quarreling all day? An elder walked through the air and quickly arrived behind Mu Chenxiang. Don't marry him, he's always the one who pisses me off first, and he doesn't respect me at all. Mu Chenxiang snorted lightly. Humph, there are many women who want to marry me. It's better if you don't marry them so that you don't have to spend all your time arguing with my other women. As a woman, you only know how to cultivate all day. You don't have to worry about this kind of thing. What you have to do is take care of your children at home, serve your husband, and take care of the chores. Han Chen sneered. When Chen Shang saw the old man, he immediately stood up. Your old man gave him a lot of pressure. This old man looked very spirited. He had a head full of white hair, but he did not look old at all. His skin was as tender as Mu Chenxiang's. Han Chen, you already have more than 10 women, but even if they combined their powers, they still wouldn't be able to beat me. What's the use? Mu Chenxiang was enraged by Han Chen's words. He did not look like a virtuous lady anymore and had a face full of killing intent. Shut up. The old man let out a light shout, but it was as if a thunderclap had exploded in his ears, and both Han Chen and Mu Chenxiang didn't dare to speak anymore. When the old man came here, he stared at Chen Shang. He knew that those who were able to come here were all extraordinary characters, but the man in front of him was emitting such a weak innate chi aura, although he looked very shrewd, with a face full of wind and frost, looking mature and steady. What are you doing here? The old man asked. Although he had already guessed the answer, he still had to confirm it. I came here on the basis of a map. I have no way out now, you should know that. Chen Shang sighed.